recently, though, and it hasn't really happened yet to the fullest potential, but if there's any chance to do it, if there's any time, this is certainly the stage.
Yeah, it's going to have to be there. We saw Guardian actually have a couple good games, but I think this Astralis, this team right now that Astralis has, is just looking so very strong. And that's going to be the thing. Even when Astralis runs into tough times, they have the ability to come back.
All right, I think I need to calm down for a bit, because this crowd just got my heart racing. Like, you know, hands are shaking a little out here. So guys, let's head back over to the desk, and they can break down a little further what we're about to see.
I don't blame you, especially after that invasion from Snacks. Even when he is not on the stage, he's making that crowd roar. And it does seem like Katowice has chosen a new hero to support. Na'Vi chance filling this one. Intriguing to see Astralis once again, not only playing against their opponent, but also playing against the crowd. There they go again.
Wonder what that is.
Can't work it out. It's a mystery. We're going to have to be quick with this one. First map, Mirage. Na'Vi's selection. What will we be saying in that post-match? Who picks this one up, Chad?
I think Na'Vi are going to take Mirage. They've beaten on them on it before. I think, you know, it was a close match, but it shouldn't have been as close as it was. Na'Vi were playing quite scared. I think we're going to see a more aggressive, more well-rounded Na'Vi this time around.
Okay, well-rounded Na'Vi on Mirage. What about you, Yenke?
This tournament has been pretty weird so far, Alex, in terms of results. So I think this best of three is going to be weird as well, where teams are going to take each other's maps. So Astralis wins Mirage. Giving
Astralis Mirage. These two teams met at the E-League Major, and Astralis did prevail. However, Na'Vi took Mirage. Let's see if Astralis can break that trend, or if we'll see Na'Vi go 1-0 up here in our second quarterfinal, the final game of the day here in the Spodek. Let's kick things off.
It is time for two Titans to clash here to find a way to get their name on that trophy. Steps in the right direction will be put down on this very match about to go down here, Moses.
Yeah, this is gonna be awesome. I mean, Seized and Guardian. I mean, Simple and Guardian. These guys have got to be huge. But this Na'Vi team, for me, it's all about how can they actually recover. Flamey's been having a lights out tournament as well. So I mean, the tools you need to overcome the fact that as a team you're a little bit disorganized, a little bit dysfunctional at times still. You have all the talent needed to overcome some of those issues, but is it enough for Astralis? Because they are one of the scariest looking teams we have. They have the star power, they have the tactics, they have everything to be champions. And this is that tournament where, I mean, if you look at this Astralis team with the teams that have been knocked out, no Virtus Pro, no SK, this is them saying, this is their championship, it's got to feel like.
Absolutely. We are now seconds away from getting this one started. Ladies and gents, are you ready for Na'Vi up against two Astralis? And already we are kicking this one off. It looks actually, tell a lie, they might be restarting this one for a second.
Not quite
just gonna tease you guys a little bit, you know what I mean?
Ah, what a jerk move. Someone didn't like their spawns.
That's it, there we go, guys. Do show who you're supporting here. I think it's quite clear who they're backing. After Taz promised to destroy Astralis, maybe Na'Vi will step into that place and do what's right by the Virtus Pro side.
Yeah, I mean, this crowd seemed fully in the favor of Na'Vi in this one. That's going to be dangerous. Snacks didn't help anything at all either, but Astralis comes out all armor, no nades, no kits. They just want to win. They just want to straight up destroy Na'Vi in this round, prevent any kind of plant. And the other side of the thing, it's Seized and Guardian. They've got smokes, they've got flashes, so a tactical plan for Na'Vi in the pistol round.
Yeah, it looks like it could be a bit of a crunch towards A if we just keep eyes on where they're currently waiting, but things can change depending on factors that come up, maybe a pick here or there, but 3 players over towards B, but the bomb's still over by A, and we'll have to wait and see if they actually commit to this, or if they fancy maybe hitting over towards B. They can easily make a slow rotate there.
Yeah, I mean, with the current positioning, I mean, the bomb being towards A, it was in T-spawn, so you feel like they could have gone to either bomb side, but it almost feels like this is going to be a split with a couple players coming up the connector, the smoke's out. I mean, the X factor with that is Xyp9x on catwalk at the moment. If he stays there, he can have an avenue. If that's not properly smoked off, it doesn't look like it. He could slow things down.
Yeah, Xyp9x is going to be the first big contender here unless Device does something, but Glave's found Seized, and now Device knows what's coming. They've read this well, and Xyp9x claiming one, looking for the follow. He gets it. Great work from Xyp9x. That's cut this attack in half. It's running without legs now. Simple looks to find an answer, and there's nothing to be seen. Xyp9x picking up that form that we wanted to see from the man.
Yeah, that's not good. I mean, right off the bat, Na'Vi uses their utility. A little bit of a questionable pistol round, in my opinion, because you have the smokes, you have the flashbangs and nades, but you're not using them for the brunt of your attack. The 3 players coming from mid, they have no cover in window, they have no cover in catwalk. The smokes are designed to protect people into the A bomb site, so, I mean, utility not wisely used that round from Na'Vi, and Astralis punishes it.
Astralis not going to let this one slip. They want to solidify their results recently. They want to prove they are worthy of the crown that you can gain from being here at Katowice. But standing their way, of course, Na'Vi looking for any opportunity now, especially into this round. Deagles, a couple of upgraded pistols, bit of armor too. So they're still being very much a contender. But you've got to hope that they do something about Catwalk, because Xyp9x is still there. Device is in connector. They're just going to ignore window and play around this one. There we go. Device is going to back away, maybe feeling a bit of a pinch here. It looks like that A hit again going to come through, but Device waits with loving arms on the other side, but Flamey overwhelms him.
Yeah, they need that. Xyp9x on catwalk, though. He's still doing damage. He does take a dink. He's got to fall back. KRB now, he's the next one up. The UMP, and he gets shut down immediately. The Deagle hasn't connected quite yet. They would love a plant here. They've got a couple kills, and Cease has the bomb. He's not going for it quite yet. Trying to find one more kill, trying to get a little bit of a safer situation, but he should be able to get the bomb down.
They've got to be careful here, Astralis, to not overextend until Xyp9x can do something. He's on the long flank here. He's going to be a little while yet, and then they can pinch this pressure. But Seized and Guardian playing out of the sight. Seized going to find one towards CT, cannot follow up. And now Guardian left in the 1v2. Xyp9x is possible, but that positioning is tough. But no kits on the Astralis side, so timing could be a factor, and Guardian gets a chance at it, but cannot connect, readjusts well. Again, dancing with the Devil Dupree. He's going to be trying to just get himself towards the side. Guardian is buying plenty of time. Ring of Roses goes wrong, but there is Xyp9x on that long route.
And no kit. That's a very dangerous slow play strike for Xyp9x. A lot of damage done from Na'Vi in this round. Astralis do come out of it alive, playing with fire a little bit there, but 2-0 for Astralis. Na'Vi's drawn blood, though. And this is going to get the economy, the rebuys that come out for Astralis, they're going to be on that kind of dreaded reset scenario. They need to build up some bank. They need to survive with a lot of players in this round.
Let's see what Na'Vi go for. I don't think there's going to be too much. Oh, okay. We've got a couple of hero pieces coming out.
Yeah, I like this. This is aggression. This is them just not taking their foot off the pedal. They want to keep the pressure on Astralis for as long as possible. Simple, Edward, the Deagles, no utility, no armor. They're trusting these 3 AKs. And, I mean, Flamey's a pretty trustworthy person to have an AK in his hands. Last round was just a repeat of the pistol round. This round, it's mid-control for Na'Vi with these rifles. And, I mean, this is where maybe they are able to catch Astralis off guard.
Seized is definitely up for a chance on this one. Eyes towards window, but no one actually there. Device is just off towards the left, but it's still Xyp9x being a big player in towards this one up on cap. Still got the utility, still have everything they need, but they don't expect that surprise factor from Na'Vi. This could still change everything. Smoke towards window, and it's starting to build up here.
Yeah, and I mean, because of this buy, because it's a little bit earlier than you'd expect, there's not a lot of nades on the Na'Vi side. So, I mean, they can run out of this utility. They have to use everything very, very wisely. Decent nade, Simple takes a little bit of chip damage. And they're trying to punish this from Xyp9x, and there's the AK. Now Astralis knows it's a rifle buy. He's going to stay around an off angle, but Guardian wins that. Slowly peeking over. He's down low. Device for the delayed peek. Can't find anything. Guardian gets another. This is looking great for Na'Vi. They've opened up the B bomb site, and it's just KRB left.
Brave play from Na'Vi to go on that buy in that round, but it has worked so well so far. KRB pretty far out from this round as well. Simple's got it. And Na'Vi do not ease off the gas here. They knew they were close in the last couple of rounds. They knew they had him on the ropes. And now they've broken back into this one.
That's very nicely done. And I mean, this is now 3 rounds in a row. We've seen Xyp9x playing pretty aggressively on that catwalk, peering out towards mid. Him and Device seemingly working together to kind of keep control of that, hoping not to let Na'Vi go forward with it. So when the ops come out, when there's gun rounds, it'll be interesting to see. But for now, Astralis upgrading to deagles, upgrading to pistols, trying to get the return force buy.
Not going to be so easy this time. You can see Na'Vi just hitting the brakes, waiting to see if there's any aggression throughout the map. It's something that we've all become a little bit accustomed to at this point. dupreeh known for just blaring up mid, but at this point, nothing yet coming through. They're playing this one out calmly, collectively, barring Glaive. He's pushed up by Ramp and might have heard Flamey. We're going to find out if he has. Flamey just not quick enough. Glaive's there, and Glaive gets the job done. He can back away now, but Simple's wanting to maybe avenge this.
Yeah, nice peek from Kirby though to protect his teammate, but it doesn't matter. Simple, too much skill. He's expecting that jump from Glaive. Over-aggression gets punished. 45 HP on Simple, and all of Na'Vi has rotated back. This is going to be a hit towards the A bomb site. It's coming slowly. The AKs, are they going to do damage? There's Guardian with another entry.
Yeah, it's down to Device. He's the closest to this one. He might back away towards CT, play it a little bit calmer, wait for his teammates to have some support, maybe try and find something while they rotate in, but bomb is in Guardian's hands, yet to move, but dupreeh hits a stunner. Edward goes down, and now Simple basically turreting at this point, looking for anyone, daring anyone to peek into him. Device finds Guardian. This is disaster. It's gone from bad to worse now. And Simple is low, but he wants to keep this one in check. 2v2, Xyp9x and Device still standing. Device position truly noted. And Xyp9x looking for any sort of relevance into this round. Simple puts the molly down. Device cornered, sits back, waits, desperate for that molly to not spread and just hope that he gets a shot through there. That is dangerous. And here we go. Seized moving, and they want to isolate the CT player, but they're both there, and Device again! That's huge, and now it's 1v1. Device against Simple. Simple wants it, but he can't have it! Device, what a beast!
And that's just, there was a smoke on Simple that whole round. He could have blocked off that CT spawn and had a safe plant. I don't know if he realized it. No one maybe called it out for him, but I mean, you give Device that long of an opening, and he plays that so smart, so patient, even when the Molotov comes in. And then even the aggression there at the end, I mean, Astralis just kind of bait him into that kind of a push. They're not expecting the second player to wrap back around to team up with Device. Brilliant, brilliant play from Astralis.
And now Na'Vi again. Look at this buy. It's still deadly. Let's be very clear about what Guardian can do with this, as can Simple.
Missed smoke there from Na'Vi as well. They wanted to block off that window. It's not going to happen. Guardian does have the AWP, and he's got that in the B halls. So Edward with his deagle is point man in mid. They have control of it. No one from Astralis really peeking, but they have kind of a contain on it, which is, you know, something Astralis. Oh, nice shot from Guardian. Device got out in the open. Probably not expecting an out buy in this round.
No, leading by example quite literally at this point for Guardian. He's now dominating towards that B side, just keeping tabs across everything. And now Astralis have to find a route back in, find something, find an avenue to work with, because they have so little towards B now. They're running out of a lot of options and a lot of time, and these afterplan positions for Na'Vi are going to be pretty much exactly what they want.
I think Astralis just might save in this round. They have no position. They have no control of anything. They got really outmaneuvered on the map here, so no real chance, especially two UMPs to retake. We know they're powerful, but against AKs, against AWPs coming through those choke points, a little bit of disadvantage. So a nice round from Na'Vi, exploiting the fact that Astralis is putting a big presence in mid early on in these rounds.
Yeah, Edward going down, not the end of the world. He did only have a pistol in that one, so if anyone's going to fall, that's fine. But here it is, Astralis being tested here. And it looks like individually, speaking of Na'Vi, they're doing well. Guardian looking like he's confident, which is something you don't often... It's weird that you don't see it as much anymore.
Yeah, I mean, that's always the storyline with Na'Vi at the moment, right? Is that Guardian has never, you know, he's one of those players who lost his step due to the injury early last year. And he's one player we haven't seen get back to that level. But I mean, we saw it yesterday on this map against Cloud9. Guardian was in that mode that we like to see, where he was hunting down ways to dominate the match. So here again, a good start for him, 5-3. And Guardian with the op. That'll be interesting when that gets out on Device eventually. And I mean, it's tough that they haven't gotten it because this has been an economic struggle early on. They haven't been able to afford it, but that'll be an interesting battle.
Yeah, and this might be a huge misread, or at least just a bit of a gamble, a bit of a stack coming out from Astralis, but it is not the right one. Glaive has, well, a lot to handle and does none of it. Na'Vi push through. They have actually a pretty clean side. Barring Kirby watching that push through from jungle, but a couple of smokes needs to be blocked off, but it's Guardian doing the work. Anyway, he doesn't need the smoke. He wants the fights. A dangerous game you're playing, Guardian, but so far you're coming up trumps.
Yeah, the AWP, and again, just out-positioned Astralis. They can't even try and retake this. They don't have players to try and get an early kill to even have the concept of it. And even UMP on Xyp9x, but look at this. There's a player actually wrapping around to the B bomb site. That's going to be Seized, trying to take these guns away, not wanting them to have another buy in the next round. And there's one kill for him. dupreeh returns onto Flamey. But yeah, this was just simple tactically from Na'Vi. They just walk up into A, and it's Glaive who's the only one there, cannot hold them all off.
Yeah, Seized is showing no mercy this round. He's taking the whole team if he can. Device is pretty safe here, to be honest, so he should be able to keep hold of this one. But this is a rocky start for Astralis mentally for them. They've got to get themselves back into this game. Back and forth rounds, always going to be tricky for the CT side, of course, just overall. But good for Na'Vi to stabilize after what was a very tricky start for them too. So far, 3-3 is the scoreline, but the first few rounds certainly look a little bit closer than expected.
And this is what you want to see out of Na'Vi, because this is where teams who are struggling at the moment of actually playing as like a single unit or having some of those issues with cohesion among players. If you lose the round that they did earlier on, I mean, that's, just to like Device's Deagle, that's the one that can like spiral out of control. That's the one that can really tilt you. So it's good to see Na'Vi, and still early on in this match, but staying strong mentally and just returning the favor back onto Astralis.
Caution aired by Na'Vi into this round. Deep nades coming through from Astralis. There's a little bit of that nuke buy-up almost. We just want to just chuck all those nades up, hope to catch one, get someone calm in this one. Eventually they're going to have to hit the side, which is always the danger. Is there a stack? Is there something? Can we work it out? Can we feel this out? But they do have mollies. They do have the ability to kind of, I guess, work through and work out where the opposition are. But for now, I think we have a little bit of an issue on stage. So one of the players going to be calling for the pause.
Yeah, small tech delay. But yeah, this is, I mean, that's actually a pretty cool round from Na'Vi as well, just slowing things down. You can see Astralis still wanting to keep that mid control, wanting to battle for it. So I mean, when this does get back up, remember Device has an M4 that he saved, and that's the most power, that's the most strength on this Astralis side that they can have, is that one M4. So where does he decide to get aggressive? Where does he decide to make something happen?
That is quite the question at this point, but the team's just going to be sorting out the money, just get themselves back into the game. And at least it's early on, they're not too deep into the game yet, so they can maybe just reconvene their individual thoughts.
Yeah, and Astralis is probably thinking at the moment, they want to get Device onto the AWP, so I think they're going to be at that point where, these economic struggles early on in halves, it's always disadvantage to the CT side where, weapons are more expensive, where you have to afford the kit, all of these different things. So they're probably going to be in a situation where the next buy they have, they're going to want Device with an AWP, if at all possible. So when does that come out? When is he able to battle? We saw the stats in the pregame. I know the analysts talked it over a good amount. Is Device even coming into this match as the better op player? Which is crazy to think about.
It is a little bit confusing, isn't it? You just think of this whole collective. There's so many capable AWPers in this one game. You've got Guardian, who had his, I guess, time in the sun. He had a huge performance with that not too long ago, but it did subside. Simple, known for having the ability to pick it up and wield it, but also he's backed away for it himself. He's been far more dedicated towards the rifle this event. We saw that double AWPing on, especially Overpass, was something that confused a lot of people, but maybe this is the formula that works for Na'Vi now.
I mean, also, if you look at Simple's career historically, like, some of the issues he's had in previous teams that have had potential is that kind of struggle of who's going to be the opera when Simple comes onto it, because yeah, he's very, very good with it, also very good with the AK-47s, but I mean, notably in Liquid when he was there was always that kind of battle of who's going to be the actual primary opera, who gets it when there's only one op available for a round. So in this, and I think, he's been pretty open that this is him, I think, trying to fit into this Na'Vi team, like trying to make this work as a unit instead of being that reputationally individual player.
Because we were all waiting for that Na'Vi lineup to click, aren't we? It's all just like, when you look at it, you look at the pure potential, you remove, I guess, certain factors away that obviously hinder them, and you just think, if it all works...
If it happens.
If it happens, yeah. I don't know who can stop them. At the moment, Astralis have somewhat of a similar storyline, I guess, in my eyes, is the fact that they've beaten the quote-unquote choke, right? They got over that hump, they won a massive victory for themselves, but now it's, can we sustain? Can we really string this together? Was it a one-off? Or do we actually have everything we need now to take this one forward? This is going to be a huge test, of course. I think we are back underway into this. So, guys, thank you for sticking around with us, being so patient, and we can get this one right. Kicked off with a bang, and Guardian might be the one to provide just that.
It seemed like Device wanted to peek that for a moment, so could get dicey. There's a nice flick down. Good shot from Guardian. Nothing too fancy, just good to see the flicks on point. 5-on-4 advantage. Ooh, almost.
Yeah, they're looking for it. Dupree's going to back away. It's like, well, there's only so many times I can kind of play with the devil, I guess, before he kind of hits you back. So at this point, though, I like Na'Vi's approach. They're not just rushing it. You can see this kind of sort of experience, sort of calmness that they seem to be able to exude on stages like this, for now at least. They haven't fully pressured. Astralis is still on that really shambolic buy at the moment. Desperate to get towards that full purchase where you get Device on the op, you get that really competitive matchup. But Simple, a bit of a tussle towards Palace, but going to back away. Again, Na'Vi haven't fully committed anywhere, barring Seized, who's really starting to step towards that B site.
Yeah, and I think he's just listening for footsteps. I don't know if you heard it, but he definitely spotted Dupree there. Nades out, he's gonna push forward, he's gonna be aggressive. He spots two, wisely doesn't commit to this. Plenty of time in this round. Edward gets another kill, but Na'Vi is essentially not committing to any fight until they know it's the one they want to take. This is really nicely done from C's.
Nice.
Double kill for him, and there goes the danger. All 5 members of Astralis fall. And are they gonna try and buy into this round? Yes, they are.
Yeah, Zipnix can drop over the AWP, so should be okay across the board here. Yeah, there we go. So it's going to spread it out, and let's see if Device actually can make an impact. It seems like something they've been desperate for. They're looking towards to get into that kind of real meat of the game. They have no kits, though, no mollies. It's still a little bit stretched on this, but maybe a quickening of pace from Na'Vi. Look at this from Edward straight away. Device gives the position, and now can he find anything with it? Edward instantly wants that challenge, though.
Yeah, pretty clever. I mean, Edward jumps over a bullet almost, and then jumping down beneath that smoke would be hard to spot if Device overcommitted and swung out a little bit wider. So good stuff from Edward. They've at least dodged the early damage, and that's the thing. If Astralis, as we've seen, if they're going to put this much emphasis on mid control, you need to have that AWP when Guardian has his. You need something to be able to challenge against that. Guardian also at the top of mid. And this patience game from Na'Vi is going to be effective in another way. There's no more smokes on the Astralis side. They just used their last one. So at some point, this is going to run out, and then Na'Vi is going to have about a minute in the round where they're going to be able to freely look through these choke points, and they have all their utility for executions.
And we all know Na'Vi can play a slow game if they have to. It was what they used to be known for. It got quickened recently, but if they can fall back to this as something that they can depend upon, you know they're going to nail it. So here we go. Smoke start to go in. Smoke towards deep connector. They know where it's coming from here, so Kyobi going to just stick out for the fight. This is a dangerous game, and he doesn't win it. Edward becomes the victor, and now we have a 5v4. Complete control towards mid, at least starting to be gained by Na'Vi, especially with that. Boost towards the window is big here. And now, Zipnix, you've got to be careful, because Guardian, I think he wants this.
And Molotov trying to force Zipnix away from peeking towards mid. This is an off angle, though. This is going to be a hard angle for Guardian with the AWP to hit. And there's the elbow showing. They know he's there. They know he's close up, and he's slowly backing away. This is going to be a split towards the B bomb site. 1 kill down. Zipnix holding strong. Flashbang comes in from his teammate, and Simple can't get the flank on. He does find 1 kill, but dangerous for Na'Vi in a 2-on-3.
Yeah, this looks almost impossible now as Edward's on 12 HP in a 1v3. It's not going to be too comfortable for him, and Zipnix will close the book on that round. Back all even, and the AWP, it may have not have decided everything, but it certainly changed a couple of pieces up there, and Zipnix certainly had a great time towards short. Not sure on C's running into this, maybe expecting a little bit of a trade coming through, or just maybe hoping that Zipnix would have been called off and a flash came through to really help out towards that Guardian pickup.
Yeah, it's tough to make that call as well, because you're trying to be coordinated with your split from upper B, and at the same time, I mean, you never know. Maybe Zipnik's teammate is calling for the B hit, so Zipnik turns around and it's all clear at that moment. So that's just a risk you have to take to try and have some kind of cohesive hit on that bomb site. Doesn't work out. Zipnix holds strong, and he's been a stellar player for Astralis throughout this event. How clutch he can be, but it's not just the 1vx situations. It's performing well and just holding his position, doing his job.
Guardian looking to find a way towards that B site for his team, looking for any chance to crack this one open. On the other side is Dupree, just desperate that no one nades him, mollies him out. It's going to be a rocky road. Look at that already. Doesn't actually get any damage done, so Guardian.
Why not?
That's some CSGO for you if I've ever seen it, but that is a little painful. But now, again, Na'Vi, such caution they're playing with.
Slow pace. So yeah, this mid control, the good thing about it is now Seized has good position at the bottom of mid. Edward's going to be there as well, so they can actually come up. I mean, a lot of pressure on Device to be able to hold off anyone coming in through connector, because he's also got to be mindful of players coming on Palace. He can't be overexposed from there at A ramp. And if Na'Vi smokes him off, he's going to have to be aggressive and a little bit risky to find an impact, and it looks like does Guardian want to challenge this?
3 avenues of attack that Device is going to have to be questioning, worrying about. Seized through connector, 2 through ramp. We're going to know that they're coming now, but Guardian, are you up for the challenge? Look at the time left, 25 seconds. This has to be perfect from Na'Vi. They've run this down so low, and here we go. Device will find Flamey. Expects the push from Palace, but that's not it. It's Guardian, and it's Seized doing what they need to, but 15 seconds, and Glaive is not letting them through. He will not let them pass, and Guardian burns alive, but it's Zipnix to close out the round.
Yeah, a little bit of a dicey hit. Nice hold, Device. I mean, that's a tough shot for him to hit, the jumping shot. It's good coordination from Na'Vi. Guardian gets the leg in return, but the rotation on its way. When it's that low on the clock as well, which Na'Vi is known to do, rotations are going to come in very fast. They're going to be very, very committed with the timer at that low. And obviously, Glaive just patient in that position, not giving it away until it's absolutely needed. This round, though, again, smoke at the base of Catwalk. Guardian peering towards connector, waiting for the shot to come out. Actually, there's a gap in that. Smoke is a little bit off. So Device gets the opening kill. With Guardian, that's so close for Device to peek that, but dupreeh with another one. This is a big advantage early on for Astralis.
Yeah, it feels like a while in the making since we've seen Astralis making those first moves. Even though they are leading in this, it has been Na'Vi just grinding them down to those last couple of seconds, and Astralis closing out pretty nicely on it, but still, a lot of threats still up on the board here, a lot of opportunity, and still so much time to play with too.
Yeah, this is the thing as well. In this round, there needs to be damage done to Astralis' economy. They're up 5-4, they're in a good position, and they have the money of Na'Vi. It's down low, it's breaking point. So if Na'Vi want to continue to have a good half and a chance to really blow this out, they need to keep the money low. They need to get 2 to 3 kills this round, and then they just can't let Astralis, because the next round will be a save, so they can't let Astralis build up too much of a bank.
I actually like this spot that Zipnik's put dupreeh in, just kind of putting him on the side. He's low HP anyway, so he can just try and play to this, but 3 players already here from Astralis waiting for that wave of Na'Vi to come through, and Zipnik, he can't get the connection, he's desperate for it. He's just waiting for them to come through, and Flamey finds it. 42 seconds. There's still so many members on this site, though, from Astralis. This is almost impossible for Na'Vi to break into. It's so tough now.
Yeah, especially because now they've been slowed down. dupreeh is the insurance policy. There's no way they clear that out. Guardian, oh, he sees one. Not quick enough, though, and actually he didn't spot dupreeh there. Now he should know. I think he heard the firing.
Oh, God, that flash.
That's not bad, but Glaive's going to get the kill anyways. Guardian just stuck, and they're going to recover the AWP as well and pass that over to Device in the next round.
Yeah, really nice pickup, and the money starts to get a little more solidified for Astralis here. They've been looking for that. It's been that back and forth game for them. Even in the rounds they've won, it's been a bit close here and there. Na'Vi, though, as you highlighted last round, is breaking point.
Yeah, they've lost 3 rounds in a row, though, so the money bonus is going to start building up. They can invest a bit into this round and still be able to buy some. You see, actually, aggression from Simple. So, I mean, this is a little bit of a risk. He's fully bought out into this round with this kind of a purchase, so looking to do some of that damage in this round to follow things up to keep the money low.
Yeah, Simple's going to have to be playing with some murderous intent here if he actually wants to get anything done. Bit of a hero rifle, maybe he can get some decent trades off his teammates. We'll see what he can achieve with this one. It's pretty much all eyes on him unless seized. Also with armor and the Tech 9 might be able to find a bit of play towards Connector, but Kiebi's playing it well, keeping it well in mind, and Glaive needs that to be covered off. He's still tucked in on the site, so if he gets surrounded, problems do occur, but still, Astralis should be able to lock this one out, and there it is. Simple already being denied by Device. This almost looks like the round could now just ground to a halt.
Yeah, I mean, brilliant game sense from Device. Very nice read of the timing because he wasn't in that position for very long. He had just rotated back. Maybe he was there for just a couple seconds before Simple makes that peek. So if he makes that peek and Device isn't there with the op, he finds the duel he wants against an M4. Unfortunately, Device just reads the situation too well. The Na'Vi, this is the next danger point for them. Can this work? This is what would open it up, and the timing's not with them. KRB finds it just as he looks away. And yeah, I don't think there's a whole lot more things that Na'Vi can plan on doing to get into this site. Astralis with a commanding win in this round.
Yeah, stability is what they're looking for, and stability is might what they just be getting after this couple of moments. Flamey finds 2, and now I get worried, but Glaive. Just the rock of Astralis so far. We saw a couple of rounds, that late A hit again, he thwarted that one, and he holds strong into this. So we do have a pause coming in, and I can imagine this will be a Na'Vi discussion point now as to how do we come back into this, how do we feel we can approach it, because they're now back on that nice buy.
Yeah, and one thing Astralis is doing very, very well is just the mobility of this defense. Just talked about Device rotating back to get to that A-bomb site, but the big thing about it is even when Na'Vi, when they executed in that round, Flamey gets 2 kills, you know, usually there is about 2 players in that A-bomb site, and then, you know, you're looking elsewhere for the other opponent, but Glaive is able to just be so patient because they're rotating players. They're being active on the map, and they're getting a 3rd player to that A site at the right time. So even those 2 kills, the site's not clear, and you could see Na'Vi a couple times just not expecting that 3rd player to defend the site.
Na'Vi may be starting to be a little bit red here by Astralis. I know they've been putting work into this matchup. They stayed incredibly late yesterday as well. Just came in, didn't have to play the games. They just stayed there, practiced through it all. So these guys, they're not taking this lightly. There's no excuses for them anymore. If you're willing to go out there and bring up a tweet from Taz just saying, you know, we're number 1, you better turn up and you better be able to play. You know what I mean? So Device, he knows what he's done. He's put a lot of eyes towards their performance. So let's see what they've got. The unpause has come in, so we'll be starting this one back up in a second. 7-4 is the current scoreline. Favorable to Astralis, but these rounds have been close, and Na'Vi just called the timeout. So if there's going to be a turn of events, it's going to be soon.
Yeah, 4 rounds left as well. So, I mean, there's still a good chance for Na'Vi to have this be a very good half. They're going to be happy at the moment with 4, but they'd love to get at least 2 more onto the board.
Look at the pace. Look at the speed that's coming in from Na'Vi. They're just going to go barreling towards Connector, and yeah, he's happy with this. Why not? But Guardian's there to trade. Really important work from him. But dupreeh's pushed up at B. This is so backwards now. You've got to be careful where they go. They've given up the B side control, but dupreeh can change this one around if they go there. But the bomb's still at A. It's still with Season. He just got down Glaive.
Yeah, and this is the big thing, is that Na'Vi known for slowing these rounds down, and the bomb is alone. This could be bad. Is he going to be ready for this? Oh, he is. He actually spots it out, so he knows the danger. He's just isolated all alone. He's the only one here, so he's very afraid to be aggressive. This is dicey. He's got to win this fight.
Siege, you've got to do this for your team, and he does. He keeps them in this round. That's massive. Now Xyp9x wants to go at it. He wants to buy at the cherry as well, but look at the response. Siege is running as fast as he can, and Guardian might have just nailed this round as Device goes out. And we're going to see Device just reeling off the back of that one, and there's Xyp9x to fall too. Na'Vi play it through mid, they pick up the pace, and they pick up the round.
Yeah, it actually looked a little bit scary. That smoke Astralis is using in connector is really, really nice to stop kind of aggression into connector from the low point. Not necessarily from catwalk, because it's so deep into mid that it gives the defensive player in connector a better vision of who's coming through the smoke. So there's less randomness for the CT player who's in that position. Easy kill, but it's Guardian who follows it up with a couple picks. And a win on a Device in the duel. This time now the money of Astralis is low. Pistol out on Glaive, UMP on Dupree, no armor on Device, and that's a missed Molotov. It's okay, he was the hero last round. We'll give him a break.
Yeah, I think he's allowed that.
Yeah.
But look at this play, straight through Palace. They know there's not going to be much presence there, but actually there is. How have they found these kills? Glaive, Xyp9x, and Kjaerbye. This was like a go-in dry hit from Na'Vi. They weren't going to be holding back. They were going ahead of the smokes. And now Edward is there, being the one to pull this back to being a competitive round. At least Guardian as well finds Xyp9x. And we're back to a 2v2. Dupree and Glaive wondering where it all went wrong.
There's utility, though. That's the thing. Na'Vi needs to get this bomb down. They've struggled at times in late round with how they use it, and Guardian's on the hunt. This is what we like to see from him. The pistol's coming out. He's spamming him through. Dupree's trying to sneak up. I don't know if they're going to expect this. They're clumped up. They've got to be very careful.
And Astralis hungry like the wolf, but Edward is the one to bite back, and now Guardian waits. He spots the leg, but it's not enough. Edward goes down, we're down to the 1v1. Guardian not gonna let it slip. Gets 2 for himself, Edward with 3. And for a round that looked like Astralis that pulled the wool over their eyes, they just fight out of it.
Yeah, that was actually very dicey. This seemed like a very slow hit, and Na'Vi wins none of the initial battles. I think this was, what, a 2-on-5, a 2-on-4? I mean, Guardian bails him out of a lot of issues in that round. 13 and 7 for him, but the impact he's having is huge. This time, Astralis, they've got no armor. They've got nothing but some upgraded pistols. They're still in the lead, but it's dwindled very, very far.
Between both of these teams, when your average is excellent, you can imagine how hard they're going to have to fight for every single round in this game. Astralis just going to have to sit back in this round. They know that this one's not looking too likely. Any damage is good, anything they can recover, great, but you're edging towards the end of the first half. So with that in mind, Na'Vi again, slow it down. They seem to have so many different modes they can go to here, Na'Vi. This seems like the Na'Vi almost of, that dominance on Dust 2, where they had that incredibly slow hit on T side. They could speed it up if required. And then you had Guardian being that additional layer of just brilliance.
Well, the other thing is we just saw them take a pause and then win a couple rounds. So, I mean, you also have Starix, who, was considered one of the best coaches we have in Counter-Strike. So, I mean, that's always a nice luxury. Oh, and that's, look at that. So, willing to drop the op over to Simple just because he's taking the dink. He's going to be a little bit more passive. Another one goes out onto C's, down to 30 HP. So, Na'Vi a little bit tough, but they're going to avoid the stack, which is over towards the B bomb site. So, despite taking some damage, there's no real danger here.
You've got to play a gamble every now and then if you're Astralis on what you have. It's not like Na'Vi haven't hit the B site. But safe and sound so far is what the round looks like.
Here's the thing, when we've seen Na'Vi, this version of Na'Vi play this map in the past, it's CT side where things have really gotten a little bit dicey, so there's still plenty of hope for Astralis. And actually, this is a pretty nice round for them so far. It's a 3-on-3. I don't think they have a chance of necessarily winning it, but if they can salvage gun, do more damage, force some, anything you can kind of do at this point.
Yeah, it's the little things. Now into that 3v2 where no one has armor, they have no kits to play with, and Na'Vi have put their foot down. They've just stopped it before it started. Kjaerbye, what do you want to do? Do you reckon you can get that up away from Simple? He's just round the corner, and timing, here we go. Does manage to get at least the up away from Simple, but that can be recovered. Flamey is right there if required, and he's got it. So, 2 left standing for Na'Vi, but more importantly, the round on the board.
Yeah, that would have been very nice. I mean, the money for Na'Vi wasn't really that strong, even going into just the last round of the half, so they were able to take even just one more gun away. We could have seen a weaker buy, but Na'Vi avoids that danger. And I believe this is a Na'Vi pause as well. So one more just to make sure they get that 8th round. I mean, I just mentioned their CT side is where they've had struggles, so knowing that they need to get as many rounds on this T side to make this work.
Na'Vi need to set the tone for the second half in their minds. Confidence is certainly a factor with them as a team. We know what Simple can do. We know when confidence is sitting with Guardian as well. They've just become, it seems like, unstoppable. Edward as well having good games as of late, but not to be the headliner in this one.
I mean, and actually, if you look at even the Astralis side of things, Katowice has been pretty neutralized with that AVP mid. He had a couple good rounds there in that mid stretch when Astralis, I think they won 4 in a row. But outside of that, he's been a little bit quiet. Most of Astralis' very, very good rounds you've seen as tactically outplaying Astralis, making the right rotations at the right time over towards that A bomb site as well. So this will be a tough round for them. No op on Katowice.
No, this is not the perfect buy, and they know what happens to Na'Vi when things start going their way, so they need this one to really smooth out. But look at Guardian, he wants to do it all himself, but Kirby is there with Glaive, and they push up aggressively towards ramp. Astralis taking the reins of this round and running with it.
Yeah, Na'Vi just got hit in the face, and they just want to fall back. That nade, I mean, you could see Guardian on the hunt, but the nade slowed him down, and then the spam through the smoke. Kirby finds a good kill. Sometimes you need to get just a little bit lucky to make an opening happen.
Look at Seized. He might have found a way in here. He doesn't know it yet. He has no clue how much of a bit of a head of the curve he is, but
he also doesn't know that
out here now.
He also doesn't know that Astralis had no one at the B bomb site for about 20, 30 seconds. So gutsy play calling, and I mean even more of it here as Kirby comes up. Yeah, and Seized with his knife out, couldn't get the AK out in time to fire the shot. So Kirby gives Astralis a big advantage. That's a great luxury to have if you're Astralis, the confidence to be able to retake that B bomb site if that's where the play goes for Na'Vi.
And Astralis do not want to allow a single opportunity to fall into Na'Vi's hand this round. You can see how they're playing, peeking through the smoke there, though. Xyp9x with a lovely little angle leaves it down to Simple and Edward. And we've already seen Edward do well, but not this round, not to be. It's Simple in the 1v4, and he is not going to get the job done. Astralis close out the half well for themselves. A back and forth game we're already seeing, however.
Yeah, 8-7 for Astralis. That's very nice. But I mean, this is next coming up, the Na'Vi on the CT half. This is where we saw Guardian lights out yesterday.
It's all for Na'Vi to do. Let's see what they can do after this very short break. We'll be back in a second. Between this and the man on your screen there, Edward having a couple of nice rounds for himself as well. So both teams have it all to play for in this half to get themselves that one step closer to the semi-finals.
And then this is where Astralis is going to get scary on this T side. I mean, it's not necessarily Navi's weakness, but I mean, even at the major, we saw how much Astralis could adapt in the middle of halves, how they could change things up, how they could work out what the big issue was and where they could exploit. So even if they run into some trouble, this is also, by the way, Glaive has been a huge impact player for Astralis on the T side. Guardian almost getting caught out, but I think he spotted at least 2 or 3.
Yeah, Zipnik's already going to put down the smoke, and here comes the play. Glaive with a quick tussle towards short, but the players through Connector are coming in thick and fast. One being Glaive, one being Dupree, and here we go. These guys starting to kick off, and Flamey is holding back. He is still alive, and he could have done something, but that is a swift no being gifted out by Astralis. You blink and you miss it. That round was crisp.
Well, I mean, look at the difference in the two pistol rounds, because Na'Vi also tried to send 3 players up Connector on their T pistol round, but Astralis throws a smoke on Catwalk, and they even leave 1 player there to occupy the defender, just to cover the teammates coming up those stairs, and that provides so much. Once those players come up Connector with those Glocks and are just that aggressive, it's very, very difficult to stop. There was even a smoke in jungle, I believe, so I mean, just great. That's the difference in the utility usage and how it helps those players.
Yeah, I think Glaive put his towards short and Zips went towards jungle, so they just kind of smothered off the route there. And now we see the stack coming out from Na'Vi. 4 players gambling this round towards A. Now Astralis should be able to feel this out. They should be able to test these waters, heading themselves through mid. That 3-man line just encroaching throughout the map. You can see it, but Guardian doesn't care. That's a shot and a half. Glaive's head's just rolling on the floor here, and that's going to speed up, if anything, the Astralis hit towards B. A quick rotate as well coming out from Na'Vi to match this.
Yeah, handheld op from Guardian. Seas is the next up, but they're coming up. Catwalk, there it is again. A second one, indeed. Seas trying to hold off as long as possible. Guardian does fall with his 2 kills, but Simple, this is what he does best. He could ruin their day, but he's not able to. Flamey now out. They're just throwing bodies at this into a one-on-one, and it's Edward versus Zipnix. 2 of the wiliest, clutchest players we have in the server.
Zipnix has been outstanding in this entire tournament so far in these situations, but can Edward outdo him? The classic champion who's had his hand on that trophy before, fighting for it again, but he can't get it done. Zipnix retains those ridiculous stats that he's held so far, gets himself an AK and gets the job done.
How many times is this man going to bail Astralis out of these clutch situations? Very nicely done from Na'Vi with the rotations. I mean, 2 great shots from Guardian help out, but getting over towards that B bomb site in time to keep delaying the plant, keep whittling down the forces of Astralis, but it's just Zipnix in the end who again plays the hero role. Interesting that, I mean, it's a good thing Guardian got those 2 kills, by the way, because investment in a Deagle in that previous round, you know, could have hindered perhaps him not being able to have an AWP moving forward. I'm sure he did the math in the economy, but that's when you start, you know, maybe you have an AWP, but you don't have armor, you don't have the nade. So those 2 kills really help to alleviate that kind of economic loss.
Picking up the deficit, bit of a stack coming out from Na'Vi. Right place, right time, good pitch. Nice timing as well. Oh my god, what? What? Simple? How has he found 2? It's a 2v2, Moses. Zipnix is on 1 HP. Surely he can't clutch it this time. And what on earth is this round? He's done it again, though. He's found Simple and Guardian. You've got to do something here, surely. The bomb's still down on the site, and Guardian's looking for any avenue he can find, any edge. He's only got the P2K. He's got no armor. This shouldn't be the round he wins.
Yeah, and he's got, there's so much time on the clock as well for him to just kind of feel nervous and lose track of where the other players are. Knowing even, I mean, obviously he doesn't know what Zipnix has, only 1 HP, but Guardian just kind of gambling and saying, all right, they probably go back towards the B bomb site. I guess he maybe not know that the bomb is dropped that deep in towards A. So we'll see how this works. Even at long range, 1 bullet from that P2K onto Zipnix is going to hurt.
And they have no utility to block it off. If they try and cross for that bomb, there's Guardian. He has 1 moment to hit these shots, and it's got... Glaive gets hit. Glaive's down to 49. Guardian, there's no way you can do this. This is surely impossible. Maybe he's got other ideas. Zipnix is still low, but they've got the bomb, and now here we go. There it is, Zipnix.
Why not? Yeah, he's having himself quite the event in that time. I mean, the edge of the smoke helps him out a lot there as he crosses over. You think maybe Guardian can get lucky just firing off 1 bullet, but smoke just confused him a little bit. So there it is, Guardian with the AWP out, full armor. Device has one of his own on the T side. Astralis up 11-7. They could start running away with this one. Na'Vi not on the board quite yet. This is the first gun round we've had. They've made a couple rounds close. They've kept the money low on this T side.
And Edward, known for his prowess in this sort of spot. With the crowd behind him, maybe something can be done here. But look at this pinch towards mid. Kierby, Dupree working their way under. Couple towards top, still Glaive there. We know how proficient these hits have been, and there it is. The first nail in the coffin comes out from the hammer of Kierby, but Edward playing with fire there. You've got to be so careful.
Brilliant kill from Kierby, but it's the flashbang that secures that. You know, it's not going to show up on the scoreboard that the flashbang thrower gets the assist, but completely blind was Flamey and Connector. So really, really nice timing on those peaks from Astralis. You can see they've put the work in. I mean, no confusion on the timing whatsoever. This boost is the next thing up that might kind of try and get Na'Vi back in the round.
But look at the safety play from Astralis. Rather than going through Connector, rather than playing it out that way, they've gone all the way back around. So Edward and Seized are kind of rendered useless. Barring, of course, they can make impact towards Dupree, but the main hit from Astralis is going to be coming from ramp. But there is Guardian, and he does have an AWP, so let's not write him out. But Katowice will, he has his own pen, he wants to write his own story. And now 4v3, Astralis have the advantage.
Yeah, and actually they're going to try and bring him back into this. It's a 3-on-3. Running out of nades is Astralis. Time is at 30 seconds. They're fine there, but they're losing all the battles. Seized with one on the Kirby. There's Edward as well chiming in, and it's just Katowice left. 1-on-3, he's going to try and get away. I think all he can do is save at this point. No time left, and it actually looked like they were going to pull it back into their favor. Two very nice flashbangs from Astralis gave them a chance in that round, but somehow it's Seized who comes over with the double kill to pull him back into the round.
Not a name you often say in that sort of aspect, but he is having a good game. And, well, Katowice going to be holding on to this. No one close enough by, but Na'Vi get the round on the board that they've desperately needed in this second half. They had those 3 rounds going against them, that's fine, but that first gun round is where they need to make the impact.
This is a very small detail, but I think it could actually have a pretty big impact, and I don't like that decision by Edward there at the end to go for the chase of that AWP. Let him have it, because you just win your first round. Economy is still low. You can see how bought out they are, and he's already down in a Fama, so if he's saving that, if he's not chasing down that kill, it's nice if you get it, but the risk, I don't think, would equal the reward in the long run.
He's going to be suffering into this round for sure, but again, Astralis going right back into this. It's so limited with what they're playing with, though. You've got so little. One smoke, one decoy. But you've got the firepower. There's no disputing that.
You can see it's really cool watching Katowice as an opera as well, because there's no ego in his style of play with the op. He's not going to take the fight, that duel against Guardian. He spots him in the crack as he's crossing Palace, and he just gives it up. He just jumps back. The previous round, he waits for a flashbang to come over before he takes that duel. So very much opping within himself and not trying to do too much. All of Astralis now reconvenes on the other side of the map.
Yeah, Guardian seems to be en route. Edward not far off on short, but it's Seized. He'll have to set this round ablaze if he wants to keep control of this. So many players are to be pouring through that nade. So well done, but can he do more? The molly is going to make this difficult. Will it split them up, or will they just push right through? They are. Astralis are flooding in towards B. Seized gets blown away, and now Edward just has to sit back and watch as they cross. The bomb goes down, and well, Guardian will not.
Nice pick from Guardian, but they need more. This is going to be a tough retake. Look at these positioning. They even have Katowice with the AWP. He's up in the halls just waiting for this cross, and they're going to have to challenge it. The jumping shot. Katowice gets another one. Readjusts his position. Edward coming through the smoke finds one, and Katowice again. Beautiful position. He's going to get a third. Katowice is a monster at the moment, and Simple can do nothing. Astralis with a 12th, and there's the rebuttal. There's the response, and there's the broken economy for Na'Vi.
Absolute brutality from Astralis, and there's Katowice. That's the player we want to see. The one who can make the differences, the one who can start and stop these rounds. But Na'Vi gonna have to just grit their teeth and bear through this round. There's not much they can really do about this, but look at Katowice, just instantly, just about made the shot. I did not even see Edward there, so great play from him.
Yeah, just so aware of where the next battle that he's going to have to take is coming from, and readjusting his position essentially after every shot. So very, very nice cover with that AWP. If he's not hitting those shots, that retake has a huge chance of being successful with the kills they were getting. 12-8, and yeah, now this is very dicey for Na'Vi.
You know, we saw a couple of P250s in the P2K making big impact before, but somehow it shouldn't happen twice. Let's put it that way. But still, Guardian waiting over by Connector, Flamey as well towards Sandwich. We'll just try and play angles that might pay off, might get him a gun away, might do something at this point.
And yeah, I mean, the bombs is a little bit alone. Kirby's got to be careful with that one. There's the jump down. If he was to fall to a play like that, that's where it gets a little bit sticky, where Astralis has to come back to save the bomb. But even just with USPs, maybe they can recover that easily. No real danger as Astralis playing far back, using the range of these rifles perfectly. I don't think Glaive spotted Guardian, but he might on the cross back. Yes, he did.
Kirby still, I'm terrified of this positioning, but timing isn't going to work out for either player, really. I guess if anything, Guardian keeps his life, but he only has the P2K to still play with. So towards Connector, nice fake towards B. You can see the smoke there. That put down, I think, by Dupree or possibly Glaive, but Kirby going to be walking through Connector, and who's on the other side? It is Guardian, but only with the P2K. So again, damage is going to be tough to make stick.
Yeah, I mean, even with these USPs, even if you're getting the jump on some of these fights, you're not necessarily going to win them. Glaive and Simple having a duel, and Glaive, again, falling back for the range. There's one from Edward. No big deal, though, so it's going to be 13-8. UMP is in Edward's hands. He might just want to try and save that, because I think, this might even be a situation where Na'Vi decides to double save. They just, that was how bad the break of their economy was.
Yeah, this could echo throughout the rest of, well, let's say a good couple more rounds at this point. Device going to find Simple in the end, and we have a pause. Na'Vi, it's time to discuss. It's time to reflect on what we've seen so far and come up with an answer. Their money, if I'm not mistaken, is still pretty shambolic.
Yeah, it's not good at all, to put it nicely. Yeah. So this is going to be a buy. If they do decide to go for this, they're going to have to win in a different way because they're not going to have necessarily the arsenal to match up with Astralis. And this is that very, very nice T side we're seeing out of Astralis. Much like Navi's, it's slow, it's calculated. You know, they're probing the defense before they commit anywhere. So they're letting Glaive as an in-game leader really just dictate and decide how they're going to attack Na'Vi in the mid-round.
Astralis in their T side, starting to become a little notorious, aren't they, with that? Let's look at it. Thinking about Train, their T side is known to be one of the strongest out there. It's why they often keep it in their map pool. Not to be seen in this game, though, but still, 13-8, Mirage certainly looking good for them. A map that was even good for them under Karrigan's reign, but it seems to have been refined now with Glaive as well.
And here it is, we are gonna have the bye. So this might be the game in this round. Na'Vi, this is gonna be tough. They've got 2 UMPs, they've got 3 M4s. They're gonna just have to straight up win some duels. They're gonna have to take fights, even if they're at a disadvantage in C's. That's the danger point.
And look at this 4-man play down towards ramp. They put all their eggs in one basket. They need to make the difference, but Xyp9x does not care. He wants it all himself. That's 3 massive kills, and there could be a 4th soon to follow. This Guardian stuck in here, timing. Did Xyp9x see him, though? That's the question. He has now flashed up, backed away. Guardian cowers in the corner as Xyp9x waits as the execution. Only 4 bullets, though, but the problem is it's only Guardian. In the meantime, Glaive and the rest of the boys have taken over. Bieber, Guardian does stand, but not for long. Xyp9x with a huge round individually.
The Xyp9x carry, 25-9. The clutches are huge, but this round, taking them all on his own. Just walking right into it, and not a flashbang to go over, nothing to bother Xyp9x, nothing to make him turn, or any uncomfortability at all. And Na'Vi now backs truly against the wall. That was the desperation buy.
This one, Deagle, CZ's, a little piece of armor for Seized, I guess, is something, but finding any sort of value to this in this round when you're not even winning on the gun rounds is going to be very, very tricky. So, Glaive not allowing a step out of place with his army right now, with his boys beside him. Glaive there spotting out one towards Connector. Yeah, but you're going to find Flamey in the meantime. And it's that pinch towards A, looking like it's coming in again. Xyp9x already out with the bomb. Dupree working through Palace. Glaive there finding Guardian. This should be Astralis getting themselves towards 15 and onto map point.
Astralis has got to be probably the best team in the world at how they coordinate their flashes with their opening kills. You know, I mean, how many times do we see them clearing out angles, clearing out crossfires, one flashbang at a peak to find them an easy kill on a blind opponent. It's very nicely done. It's beautiful to watch. It's just good Counter-Strike. M4's on the board. No AWP for the defense in this round again. Guardian.
Glass cannoning up. He's got to make a big play here. All right, Astralis, are you going to close out on this map? Or is there going to be more here from Na'Vi? Let's see what Guardian can do already. Actively looking for that challenge towards mid. Here come those flashes, though. Guardian, you better be ready. He can't hit the shot. He has to back away now. And it's Astralis retaining dominance towards mid.
It seemed like he kind of questioned which one he wanted to shoot at. The second one coming, or the guy jumping. Sees now. Flashbang, turns from it. Bombs all the way back towards T-spot as well. So Astralis, if they continue forward at this attack, they're going to be a little bit depressed. And it looks like they're looking for this kind of a play, and C's can't win it. Simple's here as well. Guardian rotating over to find one. But there goes Simple, and Guardian's got to come up huge here, and he's a man who can do it. A second kill. Can he do more? Behind the flames at the moment. There's the peek, and he recovers. This is massive. Now down to a 2-on-2. And Astralis, yeah, there's the bomb still in T-spot, and I think Astralis now has kind of figured it out.
Guardian is doing everything for Na'Vi that he has to. He will not let them go out of this game without giving everything he has. And now Xyp9x gets the bomb, but nowhere is safe. No angle is covered at this point. You already have Glaive working his way in towards jungle, but look at that HP, 8 HP. Guardian going to be on that cross as well. One smoke goes in, it gives away the game. Guardian now, will he speed up, will he slow down? He's got Flamey with him. Flamey working through CT, gets flashed down. Xyp9x. Bomb goes down, and here comes the retake. This is to keep Na'Vi in this map. And Guardian finds one. He looks for Guardian! That is the level of play coming in today, and Guardian means business, ladies and gents.
That is Dirty, the ace. He does everything for Na'Vi in this round. Holding off that hit on the B bomb site, they were so close to losing it. In fact, they might have even lost it, and he pulls it back in their favor. 5 kills, though.
If you want something to cheer for, you've just seen it. Guardian is doing this for Na'Vi, for the crowd, for whatever it means to them. They are making this one work, but the problem still stands. It's 9-15. That's a hero performance from Guardian. Let's just watch it again. Watch this absolute beast coming through in this game. This one round, he gets the ace. He literally does everything.
This has got to be something with the Flames obscuring the vision there on his opponent. I believe that was Device. They just couldn't see Guardian for some reason. But I mean, a brilliant recovery and flick over to even find that kill. But yeah, you're exactly right. Still a long way to go. They've got to rattle off 6 straight to force overtime. And can they actually do it? Because you can't expect Guardian to be able to do that every single round for you. They've got to have other players step up. Guardian sitting at 24 and 16 in a losing effort. He's challenging Xyp9x for the top player.
The double AWP, simple, Guardian, here we go. The question that we've had about these guys is where they're going to use it, will they go for it, but Edward's going for it, or are they going to find Glaive? Keeps good HP, backs away, loses nothing. Lovely start for Edward in this round.
Yeah, nice timing on that aggression as well. A little bit delayed, there was no smoke at the base of Catwalk, so Glaive overexposed, thinking those smokes are going to help him out. Good advantage to be found, and this could be the recipe that gets him back into this double AWP. Oh, look at this. There's a lot of faith in Simple here to find these kills. Simple's gonna peek down, there it is. Guardian misses that shot, but it might not matter. 2-on-4 situation. And actually 2-on-1 quickly as Simple's AWP chimes in as well. Edward on Catwalk. KRB's just trying to look for anything, something.
A prayer might be something he needs at the moment, but he's gonna find Edward at least. But the bomb in such a treacherous spot and seized. Gonna seize that one. And there we go, another round on the board for Na'Vi. And they keep the double AWPs, and they keep themselves in this.
Yeah, and importantly as well, with 3 players surviving, even when they won the 4th round previously in this half, they didn't really have money in the next one to have a strong buy, so they've never been able to build up any kind of economy behind this. Now, they can't afford to lose a round, obviously, here in this match, but it is good to be able to have some kind of a cushion for whatever you might need moving forward.
And Simple's the one going to be taking up the post at mid this time. He's got a lot to handle. Guardian over by Ticket Booth towards CT, and this could be a bit of a quicker pace, a little bit of maybe a different approach coming out from Astralis, selling a bit of a mid-presence. KRB going to be kind of fed to the machine, it might seem, if he doesn't come out on top, but look at that slow play towards B. Only seized, wait, Simple doesn't even need to see him. Brilliantly done from him, and now Seized is aware. He knows what's coming his way, but he's going to tear him apart limb by limb, but Dupree finally fights back.
Oh, and Simple, there was another chance there, but Edward's got him in a good spot. Simple could be aggressive. Good flick. Bomb's going to get planted. Simple's, no, it's not. He stops it. An 11th round for Na'Vi. Simple showing off with the AWP now as well. You can see the idea, though, from Astralis and Glaive. They knew a double AWP in the previous round. They'd seen them both in the A bomb site, so hit B and force those AWPs into a retake, but it doesn't even really come to that whatsoever. One thing they can look to exploit as well is with Edward playing a lot on Catwalk and at ladder room, Seized is pretty isolated at that B bomb site.
Simple. Could have had a chance in this one if he goes back towards A. So far it's Flamey being the bastion towards that A site. 4 players lining it up here for Astralis as well. The smokes are getting ready. Bit of a jungle smoke, maybe looking towards CT, but will they commit to it? There's already a 3-man raid party heading away, but they seem indecisive. They seem unsure as to what they want to do, but at this point, no one's moving from Na'Vi. They know this game's on a knife's edge. They have to sit and wait to see what's about to be thrown at them. And, well, if you're honest, if you look at who's waiting, it's Simple on the other side.
Yeah, but this is going to be a retake. Simple's actually rotating away from the A-bomb site right now. He's going to wrap around. He's going to be doubled up with Flamey, but, I mean, the big thing is if they're going to play this retake, yeah, Simple doesn't know what he wants to do at the moment. That's a little bit worrying, but if you're going to play this style, when this execute, when the smokes come in, you need to get 1 to 2 kills as they come into the site. This is so difficult in a 5-on-5 retake, and Simple gets aggressive in front of the smokes.
He's pushed into this. He's a madman, and the madman is already doing well, but he can't do any more. Dupree's straight away there. Device gets the AWP. Dangerous addition. And now into the 4v4. The bomb going to be considered to be planted any second. Now Device going to find Flamey. Guardian, Seized, and Edward. It's all on their shoulders now.
As this now becomes a very difficult retake. Device starts this round with a Tech 9, now has the gun he's wanted this entire map. Goes for another peek, and there it is! The flick up, Guardian not expecting it whatsoever. Device stuck in a cubby! He's gonna get a 3rd in the round! Edward finally shuts him down, but this could be all over. Edward needs Xyp9x heroics, and it's not happening. KRB shuts it down as he diffuses in the smoke, and that's the round. Astralis with an A execute. They prevent the comeback from happening.
You saw glimmers of hope coming in for Na'Vi towards the end then, but Astralis put their foot down, they stabilize, they don't let it slip away. They don't choke. They keep that map in their pocket. That is map 1. There is still possibly 2 more to go. So this game is so far from over. Na'Vi, they know this game is still within their grasp. They can still get something developed, but for Astralis, they're one step in the right direction. So guys, let's hear what the desk has to say about that.
Lots to be said, Lauren and Moses. Great start, and one very smug analyst who expected the maps to go the other way. Yanko is joining me alongside Chad, and yes, indeed, Astralis take Navi's map pick, 16-11 over on Mirage. You have some time now to explain your thought process behind that call. Was this just you throwing your hands up in the air, or was there justification behind it?
Listen, some of my colleagues would say, Alex, predictions only matter when you're right.
Yes.
So, I mean, not really. The thing behind this is that Astralis is just such a regimented team. Any map you play them on, besides Cobalt, because that's always going to be banned, you can be sure that they're going to be ready for it, that they're going to have a game plan, that they're going to be able to adapt to what you do. It's just to which extent. The problem with Na'Vi is, even though this is their map pick, they've looked comfortable on the map itself, that they are still a dysfunctional group to an extent, right? We saw that side of them even at this tournament towards the second part of the group stage. So it's always a question of which Na'Vi will turn up.
So from an 8-7 half to a 16-11 finish, Chad, did you at any point towards the end of that start seeing the glimmers of that Na'Vi comeback when the Yorps were firing on all cylinders?
Guardian definitely made me believe there, and I think the crowd as well, as they were getting a bit loud. But it was the Battle of the Orps that we're talking about in the late portion of that map. You even saw Simple getting involved in the action, having a bit of fun, and the Orp even finished it off with Device. But the positive sign, I think, for Na'Vi going into the next map is they did look like they were warming into it, right? They individually started a bit slow, and then towards the end it was gearing up where the stars were getting more frags. That is a positive sign going into Nuke, but it's one that you can easily get shut out on, so it's a little bit scary in that regard. And what's even scarier is the fact that Zippy was still having a fantastic performance. You know, he's had a great tournament, this guy, getting the multi-frags once more. He's not just a support player right now, he's actually one of the stars.
And is he still fulfilling his support role whilst the bodies are dropping?
Well, if the frags are coming to you, right, then and you don't actually need to be throwing those nades to support your teammates to find the frags, it's a little bit of a different environment you find yourself in, and I'm sure he's happy about that, right? Yeah. Like when the 3 guys pushed A ramp and it was his job just to lock that down and get information, he basically had 3 kills handed to him. Yeah. You know, things like that are going to make your stats look pretty nice.
Yeah, and indeed his gameplay did as well. It's not just the numbers behind Zipnix and his success, something we addressed in the pre-show. So what have you got for me, Yanko, on the Telestrator?
It's a good example of how a game plan works, you know, on the T side, how you can utilize the things you did before in the half to maybe win a round. So you can play it for a little bit. You can see that Na'Vi is they basically have the brunt of their team towards the A side of the map, towards apps in particular. And this is why Seized is just supposed to fake mid control by himself, but he misses this crucial molly. So now we can switch back to the minimaps. You can see why this is important. What Seized, you can pause it here, what Seized was supposed to do. So he was supposed to fake mid control by himself and basically draw KRB and maybe another player who was supposed to be in window room, but Astralis decided to stack B. So he was supposed to draw all the attention to himself, while the rest of his team would explode towards A apps, and the goal is there's only going to be one player that they need to trade with and take control of the site. But instead, what happens? Seized misses the Molotov, he's forced to wait. In turn, that kind of buys enough time for Astralis to react. The strat doesn't work to the same extent, and you can roll out the rest of it. Now, actually, Astralis is in a 5v2 situation at some point in this round. You can see their buy. Their buy is pretty weak. They have a 5-7, a UMP. They do have the op on device. And this is where you can pause it again. This is where it doesn't matter. Towards the end of it, you could see that they were in a 5v2 situation, but they still decided to challenge the Na'Vi players. They gave them a chance for duels, and very quickly, Edward and Guardian, I think it was, they turned it into a 2v2 and were able to win the round. So that's what allowed Na'Vi to have an 8-7 scoreline. Instead, if Astralis wins this round, it's probably 10-5 for them and an even more convincing win.
Yeah, indeed. Convincing perhaps, but still, Na'Vi warming up is the thread we're going to be pulling as we proceed to Astralis' map pick. Those are your words, Chad. They were warming up. Is there genuine truth in this as a player? You can find yourself warming up, finding your game, finding the kind of the grooves for the game?
You can definitely find yourself in a situation of the frags not coming your way, or your timing's feeling off, and as you go through the game, you're feeling like you're hitting more shots, and as it progresses, you're getting more confident in yourself, right? Yeah. So when you see that happening and you feel it happening, it may be too late in the game like it was there. That would have been a bit of a mountain for them to climb to get back into that match. It did look like it was becoming possible because we've had some crazy results so far in this tournament, but Astralis shut them out.
And some crazy shots from Guardian. This was that ace, a little bit of retro Guardian, I believe, we get to watch here. This was when the East just started piling them up, from what I remember. It was just exactly what we kind of expect from him on the CT side.
I mean, it's good to see Guardian hitting shots like this, but that last round of the game, it also shows you, how maybe the aggression of Simple can work against him and against his team. So Astralis is kind of on a sort of a weak buy, half buy, right? They go for that smoke K, execute, and Simple decides by himself to push through the smoke. He gets the first kill, great, 6 shot, then he dies, and Device picks up the op. With that op, Device gets 3 more kills. When an execute like that comes in, you need to react as a team. Are we pushing? Are we all pushing through the smokes? Are we trying to kill them instantly? Or are we falling back, waiting for the smokes to clear and then playing the retake? So I think that's something that Navi can't allow against a team like Astralis, who's so structured. You all need to be on the same page because they have both the teamwork and the individuals to punish you if you're reckless like that.
Well, the Structured Stars did pick up our first map here in our second quarterfinal of Katowice. We do have 2 more maps potentially waiting to fill the Spodek with Counter-Strike. We next venture to Nuke. It's already had some crazy upsets, some twists and some turns in the group stage alone. And now we have another game to talk about. It will be Nuke coming up after our break. We'll take a quick one, but when we do return, we're diving into our second map of our second quarterfinal. Let's see if Na'Vi can take us into a third. Close but no cigar on Mirage. We'll see if the second can be any different.
Do you want to feel like a pro gamer? Wait no more. Greatness awaits you with Intel Extreme Masters certified PCs and notebooks. When you see unique IEM certified stickers on the outside, you will find high-grade components with Intel Core i5 and Core i7 processors inside. Every purchase includes in-game content and supports the total prize purse of Intel Extreme Masters World Championship. Feel like a pro.
ready? Huh? Hey, boy, huh? You ready? Huh?
Start your esports career now at play.eslgaming.com.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to ESL.com! Two headshots in a row. Infinix about to bring it back now. All on Nico. Trying to see if they can get the defuse in Nico. Oh no, Infinix!
Has to keep Virtus Pro alive. Taco once closer. AW getting done.
He's looking for it. He's gonna get a hit that headshot again. Oh my god.
Heroic need an opponent in the semi-finals, and Astralis have already got one step closer. Navi's map Mirage goes the way of the Danes, and now we stand heading into a rather explosive crescendo. Nuke will be our map. Will it be the last? Can only be answered by Na'Vi and by our analysts as well. Joined by Janko and Chad Birchill. What are we saying here, gentlemen? We're going into, I don't want to say unknown territory, but it's much lesser known than that of the other maps. Newest addition to the map pool, albeit forgetting about Inferno. What do you make of this one, Janko? We're going into Nuke, and Astralis have been a bit of in limbo on this one.
Yeah, I mean, the problem with Astralis on this map is that we saw that they can play it, and they lost it 3 times on LAN with this lineup. 2 times it's to VP, right? Probably one of the best teams in the world, if not the best Nuke team in the world. So it's kind of skewed. They won against weaker opposition, the likes of Complexity, Optic, right? But Astralis in general just has proven to be a very regimented team, no matter the map. Chad mentioned that Na'Vi seemed like they're warming up to this game, but there's probably not a better side you'd like to start on in CS if you're warmed up than CT side of Nuke. So that might be a chance for them to get rolling early, get some momentum, and take this to a 3rd map.
As cliche as it is, we're going to talk about the pistol rounds. Astralis have had a lot of success in pistol rounds this tournament. They've won 9 and lost 3. So if they can continue that start, Nuke is a map where it's more important than others, statistically speaking, to win the pistol round. So that's something that's in Astralis' favor going into this one. And I agree with Janko in the sense of it's something that Astralis have struggled on, and if they haven't addressed the problems that we saw against VP in DreamHack Las Vegas, they might be in for a rough time even, because StarX could have taken the time to look at the demo, looked at the way that they addressed that, and exploit the same flaws that VP found.
Do you believe we are still in the position where CT side holds a large, overbearing lead over the Ts in terms of round advantage?
I think it's very, very economy dependent, right? I still think it's a CT-sided map, but we can still see strong T-sided halves from teams who are first practiced. But in order for that to happen, they need to have, either to win the pistol round, have a 3-0 start, or to reset the economy of the CTs early. If the CTs have the control of the economy, they can buy those incendiaries to stop the fast pushes. If they have the smokes, if they have the ops, and all of that stuff, then it's extremely difficult for the Ts to win rounds. But how you win rounds is you win a round by putting some pressure towards yard. That further on in the half forces the rotations from the CTs, which you can later exploit, like we saw in the last round of the VP Heroic game. That was probably the best example of how you can win rounds on the T side.
Chad, T-side rounds coming the way of Astralis on this half, or do you think Na'Vi are taking us into a 3rd? I'll let you explain your thought process.
I think Astralis are probably too structured, to not have enough strategies to push the CT side of Na'Vi. They need to make them flustered and get on top of the economy, like Janko said. I think this is a really good map, though, for players like Flamey and Edward, who can kind of be turrets and sit there and hit up those multi-frags. But for me, it's going to be all on the pistol round. If Astralis go off to another flying start, they're going to be able to run away with this one. I want to say Na'Vi so we can get the 3rd map here, but I think logic is telling me to lean towards Astralis.
I think that was the big issue. Flamey, who has been Na'Vi's best player throughout the tournament, only had 9 kills on Mirage, right? I think that Na'Vi is probably a bit frustrated because of how the first map went, and how VP crushed Astralis in Las Vegas was that they were super, super aggressive on the CT side, not just as a team, but also individually, taking fights, Pasha pushing ramp, Neo aggressive towards yard with snacks, and all that kind of jazz. I think that Na'Vi has to replicate that, because if they stand back and let Astralis take map control, take control of Secret, I think that's where rounds start falling apart from them.
Perfect. Thank you so much, gentlemen. And so the quick summary is, Astralis, will they really start off Nuke with another pistol round, their 10th pistol round win here in Katowice? Or will we see Na'Vi go aggressive, bring the fight to the Danes and take us into a 3rd? Let's find out, though, as we are about to dive once again into the fray. It's a 2nd map of our 2nd quarterfinal, and Na'Vi are battling for survival. Let's go in with your casters, Pansy and Moses.
First map sits with Astralis. Na'Vi have so much to do now, and they have a tough task ahead of them. Nuke is no laughing matter when it comes to Astralis. And something to highlight, their T-sides have been decent on this as well. Known for some of the other maps where they can achieve it, this is one of them as well.
Yeah, the scary part as well is, this is not a great map for Na'Vi, but also if you look at, this Astralis team in Vegas, and even at the Major Deuce tournament, they haven't really been that great on pistol rounds. We just heard the analysis talk about it in this event. They've shored those up. They're winning their pistols. So now, you have no chance of at least getting out on a decent lead. You have a lesser chance to get on a big lead and kind of be able to grind out this map. Astralis just has so many tools they can use. How do you battle Xyp9x? The impact he has, I mean, the clutch rounds that he wins, the 1vx situations, but also the rounds that Astralis won on Mirage, he had over 140 ADR in those rounds. Thank you to HLTV for that.
Nice.
Just, you know, gotta give him...
Just gotta give him the credit on that one. Fair play. But no, there's a lot to be seen, and I think a lot of people have kind of added the almost precursor to this matchup that for Na'Vi to do well here, you need massive individuals to step up as well. Yep. There's got to be more than just Edward. There's got to be more than just Simple and Guardian and all these. Everyone has to have big performances. This is what we're looking for.
And also, I mean, if you look at how this map plays out, I mean, if you're a Ganopper, you'd like to find some success outside, but there's so many smokes. I mean, teams now set up these walls of smokes to cross down towards Secret to get down those stairs. I mean, there's a lot of ways that Guardian can be neutralized if that's where he's going to bring the AWP. So yeah, I mean, they need Flamey to be in this match. They need Simple to be in this match. They need those stars to overcome this kind of a weaker map that they're playing on.
That's just beautiful to witness. Just beautiful. There is a couple
explains a lot, doesn't it?
And the thing is that if Astralis are in a good mood, it's something that mentally, they've been talking about how they mentally prepare for these games as well. This is something, if they're in a good mood, they're feeling relaxed, they're feeling calm. This is a big stage, this is a big arena, and it's loud, and it's not cheering your name. If they're sitting there relaxed, calm, that's a good sign for them. They're coming into a map they know they have an edge on. So, we are now seconds away from this one getting started in. Na'Vi, backs to the wall now. They need to bring out everything. This has to be their stand. They're starting on the CT side. Astralis on the T side, on the verge of getting to those semi-finals. They know it, and they're going to play to it.
Yeah, this time all armored up for Na'Vi. Geared up to win fights and nothing else. Guardian outside, he's been spotted by Kierby, and now he's got to try and get away. There's a lot of aggression coming his way, but it's going to be a split. They drop down, there's Guardian. Huge find, can't get anything more, and it's dupreeh and Glaive, and dupreeh again. And that upper bomb site is just exposed. Na'Vi gets wiped off the map. This is a bad start for Na'Vi.
Absolutely ravaged, and you know how tricky that CT side can be without that full utility, without everything you need to slow down this T side. And Astralis have a dominant hit towards upper, but Flamey connects a beautiful shot, but he's on 2 HP. He has no kit, and he's now being flanked upon as well. You've got Device working around the back, but it's not even him who needs to do it. Xyp9x will get the closer, and Astralis get the first.
Two very, very fast-paced T-side and pistol rounds in this series for Astralis, back on Mirage as well, just splitting into the bomb sites. And I mean, that time, you think maybe there's a chance. When Glocks are coming in a connector like that quickly into a round, you get a little bit worried. You can just kind of see it collapsing. It's hard to hold back. So when Guardian gets that one kill, there's a little bit of hope. But I mean, dupreeh just having a stellar round there. 2 kills for him to really open up that A bomb site, or that upper bomb site.
See if Guardian can maybe find a couple of tags here. Would be nice. Yeah, Glaive gets tagged, but an instant reply. There's never any freedom given, it feels. But Edward's found an angle to work with. Kierby's going to back away and be a little bit more cautious with the bomb as well. Maybe help out towards a couple of players. But Device is just going straight down towards Secret. Seized is there with the angle. Nicely played from him, expecting maybe that sort of play, a bit of aggression, a little bit of something. But if you look at what's left, Glaive, 31 HP, he got the tag initially. Xyp9x and Kierby, though, still in a good spot here.
Yeah, some of these angles can be very, very nice to pistol buy-ups as well on Nuke, and Flamey with the deagle, that could be dangerous, but he's actually going to go away from the attack.
This is why Seized has a rifle, he's sitting in ramp, and I think he's just been spotted out, so he can back away, but the information now comes flowing through. But oh my word, that first shot was lovely, but nothing more to be seen from him. But Flamey picks up the mantle where his teammate left off. But it's a 2v2, and they are both now low for Astralis. Kierby, 14 HP, Glaive, 31. Flamey still has the deagle, Simple as the P250, and they've got to find their options.
Yeah, they have no positioning, though. They have lost map control, and they've lost the plot in this round. Astralis outmaneuvers them again the map, but Armor and an AK-47 onto Simple. 1-on-2 clutch. This would be huge. This is where you want the star player to bring you back into this match. There's the first kill. He's got to find the second, though.
And he's up for it as well, but it's a gamble, it's a guess, it's a risk, and Glaive needs to play it perfectly as well. Timing certainly of the essence, and Simple's not making this subtle. He is making noise. He's going to have to make this quick as well. He's desperate for something, a pixel out of place, anything, and Glaive is giving him nothing. Simple, you're running out of time, and your options are slipping away as well.
Oh, so smartly played from Glaive. I don't think Simple has a chance in this round. It's got to be now, and Glaive knows likely there's no kit, so he delays it even longer. Simple has just been outplayed here. Never once did he consider this until it was too late. Brilliant round from Glaive. Wins with his mind, as an in-game leader does. And Na'Vi, again, I mean, much like Mirage, on those 2 eco rounds they had, so close, yet just can't get the victory.
A beautiful mind play there. Absolutely love that. And considering how pressured that whole round was, how everything was contested constantly, you got a feel for it. But we still have that kind of, I guess, superhero weapon in hand to Simple. He was able to keep hold of that, so maybe going to find a use for it, maybe be able to do something. But the problem is everyone else is so desperately low on money. And Astralis, they're not going to let off on this. If anything, they're going to just hammer it home even harder. We'll see what they go for here. Is it going to be that quick upper hit? It is. This is something we've seen from them before. Maybe Simple going to position for it, but no. Zimnik's already out. Dupree is the one to kick it off, though. Simple goes down. Flamey, the only one to answer. And this hit does not stop. It's relentless. Finally, Seized and Edward are there, but is it too little too late?
Seized is now alone in the upper bomb site. He's got to try and make a play, but he's surrounded at the moment, and he can do nothing. AK is on the board for the Na'Vi players. Might not be a bad idea to try and save it. There's the AK brought out. C's going to try and win this anyways. No chance, I don't think, of them winning the round. So yeah, try and get this kill. Try and establish yourself an exit route, and they can't do it. KRB just manning down in lobby, and Edward, all that's left for him is to hold on to this rifle into the next round.
They need it as well. Anything additional for Na'Vi is so required in this. You need to get a hold of that economy as soon as you can.
Yeah, I mean, that was the big thing on their CT side of Mirage. They did win that 4th round, if you remember, but they just didn't have the money to back it up to string them together, so...
Oh, God.
They're going to go right at him.
Edward, he needs to be careful here. He needs this, and there we go. It goes down as well. Kierby going to find him, and that is problematic. But still a bind, nevertheless, for Na'Vi. They are fine. But just look, no mollies, limited on possibly a kit as well if they even get one on the board. So... tough times ahead for Na'Vi. They have to just simply outdo them on this. Simple is going to opt for the one kit that they have.
Yeah, no nades in order to be able to buy that kit. So Simple with the team play here. What is Astralis going to open up Device heading outside alone at the... and this looks like it's going to be a little bit faster. Again, pressuring this flashbang from Device blinds Guardian, so Dupree has the angle, but now he's gotten it back. Smoke's flashes come out. Simple wants to help out, but there's no real pressure coming quite yet.
No, a deep smoke, though, keeps them guessing. They don't know if maybe they're considering going down towards the vents, but Flamey with a lovely connection. Good tag towards Kievi, and now the backup has arrived, and none better than Guardian. He does find one, but he slows him down. He buys some time, and Flamey fancies another go at it, but Astralis are backing away.
Yeah, they've got Glaive in position. He's not watching for any kind of a push, but they've got him at least here controlling this area of the map. So they want to readdress and figure out a new way to attack. Some rotations. Simple is going to be the man who needs to be up to the task. A lot of utility, though. I mean, Molotovs, there's a flashbang as well, so this could get a little bit dicey. Simple in the rafters.
He's got to pick his poison at this point. Astralis as well, trying to negate as many angles as possible. Try and isolate a player. Try and find something to pull him back into this game. Bearing in mind, or at least round, let's say, Glaive is on the UMP, but it doesn't matter. Device will find one. Seized. Here's Device. That's the bomb, but it doesn't matter. Device fights his way out of it. Seized is going to be livid about that one, but now it's down to Flamey and Edward, and oh my word, Flamey feeds himself in towards Dupree, and with 35 seconds left, the bomb is going down. Device truly at the helm of this round, and Glaive with a knife to the back almost there if he wanted it, but Glaive will get the AK, and Astralis will get 4 and stabilize themselves into this game.
And that's where the stress builds up, because you felt like Na'Vi had so many advantages in that round, in the mid-round, to be able to win that one out. And I mean, the tables have turned as well when Astralis, their reputation of dropping matches of the choking, when that was occurring, it's very similar fights as what we just saw Na'Vi lose, where nothing's going wrong, where they have the advantage and they just can't find the kills. Interesting round, though, here from Na'Vi, a nade stack, 5 purchased up. Gonna see if they can find any success here. Here come the nades. It's deep, and Glaive gets by all of them. Only takes a little bit of damage. There's one. He's got to hold the push, but he can't. Dupree does trade off Edward inside. And now they have all the positioning. So when Na'Vi tries to rotate back, they're just caught off guard, and it's a slaughter.
Yeah, Dupree lining him up, knocking him down, having a great time of it. And there's no armor on Guardian, but Simple does have armor, so maybe if they can feed this back, there could be something achieved. But again, you're clutching at straws to this point. So bomb now down, Guardian toying with Dupree, but Dupree has armor and Guardian doesn't. It's time to consider your losses and cut them, maybe.
Yeah, definitely hold on to that AK-47. The rifles, I mean, the rifle why they had the last time, there was no real amount of utility behind it. So Guardian, he's just in a tough spot. I don't know if he'll be able to. And Astralis has the economy to be able to chase after this one. They're not at a risk of losing too much. There's Dupree, the jump, and he can do nothing in there. But Guardian's position is given away, and Simple is waiting, seeing if he can punish anyone.
Nothing to be found there for Simple. And, well, Kievi's found Guardian, and Device will crush the remainders of Na'Vi. This is clean so far from Astralis. This is the T side that we see happening when they get rolling, when they get that early win, when they get that pistol, which seems to be a new factor for them as well. But finally we see the answer. Finally there might be the stopping point here. This should be the round. If there's ever going to be one, that Na'Vi can make a stand. They have everything they want. Guardian on the AWP. They have the mollies. They have everything to slow down Astralis. Na'Vi need everything here.
Yeah, it's got to start here. The AWP is out. It's going to be heading towards outside. Nade to blow open the door quickly. Guardian not able to take a shot, and actually Device finds him over the smoke. It looked like Guardian saw it at the last second. But just couldn't figure out if he wanted to... look at the position from Dupree. That's so nice, that smoke there. And obviously, he gets down to vents and he just pauses and waits in case anyone from Na'Vi tries to chase him down. But what a powerful position to be in. This lower defense, this rotation from Seas, I don't think he expects it whatsoever. So scary times for Na'Vi.
Scary might be underplaying this. Terrifying might be the word. Xyp9x to find Edward there. Gonna make it even worse. Seized and Flamey is so out of spot here. Seized down below. Flamey just up by Hell. I get this. This is so rough to play out of. Astralis just seems so in control here.
Yeah, and this is what happens. This is why, you know, you can see this map is not a strong one for Na'Vi. They lose control. They lose kind of the idea of where Astralis players can be. KRB flanking around up through heaven just gets a free kill. That causes distraction and mayhem, and another one comes out for the player in lobby. So just very tough. Na'Vi getting pulled in so many different directions. They're not sure which one they need to be paying attention to. And these kills are no longer any kind of consolation prize. It's not enough.
I have a feeling we might be saying that a little too much this game at this point. Not enough. Na'Vi, not enough utility, not enough weaponry, not enough money. And by the end of it, not enough rounds. 5-0 is the current scoreline. 6 to be there pretty soon. And the pause has been called for the next round to discuss, to try and theorize, to try and come up with something, an answer for what Astralis are bringing. But there we go, and they both lose the weapons as well.
Yeah, that's rough. That's insult to injury. So Bomb takes out the 2 weapons that Na'Vi's trying to save. 6-0 for Astralis. And I mean, outside of that, there was one round that it really looked like Na'Vi had the chance in, where they had the advantage. Outside of that, it's just been a wash. It's just been a complete wipeout for Astralis. They are in complete control of this match, and that's why we're seeing this pause come out. So hopefully StarX has some kind of an idea of how to get Na'Vi back on track.
You've got to hope. Let's be honest and recap a little about Astralis and Nuke. It's not flawless for them. They had that result not too long ago, if I'm not mistaken. It was against Virtus Pro. So, you know, they have been shown that there are weaknesses, there are ways to break them on this. It has been good excluding that. You know, it depends how much you want to read into it. The last time they faced off against Na'Vi, it was 16-4. That was, it was online, so you take it with a pinch of salt. They've beaten Fnatic on this. They've beaten VP twice on this. But the recent one against VP will stick in mind. That 16-3 is a very, very strong scoreline. So I don't know what I'd do if I was Na'Vi in this one. You've got to come up with something. You've got to come up with it fast. And a UMP purchase, no utility.
Yeah, I think maybe trying to just catch Astralis off guard. They're also not fully invested, so it can be a pretty dangerous buy without committing too much, but that's a bad sign. Guardian down already, so, I mean, he only had a pistol, so still Astralis hasn't seen these UMPs, doesn't know it's coming, and it's going to be a lobby crunch. They're getting aggressive, they're trying to take the fight. Astralis is waiting for it.
It's a massacre.
No damage even dealt to Astralis that round from Na'Vi, so it doesn't pay off, but still they can buy up. That's the investment, that's why there's just so many UMPs. Guardian only on a Deagle to be able to save up for this op. But here's the thing, they have to be able to control outside. So many times analysts have talked about how important outside control is on this map, and if you're only going to have Guardian out here and he gets picked off, that's where it gets so difficult, because Astralis can be lower, they can wrap around towards heaven, and it just seems like Na'Vi doesn't have an idea of how to rotate to kind of fill that gap in the defense.
And it's all Astralis setting the pace. They quicken, they slower, they do what they want. Look at KRB, so fluid, so confident to get towards the outside area. He's got the drop on this, only seized it out here. Guardian's over by ramp. This is huge amounts of freedom that KRB's just about been able to find. Sees has no clue as well about this, and I can imagine Astralis is just going to let KRB do as much as he wants. Even Device makes it worse, finding seized, and Astralis taking strides now towards getting such a clean half here.
This is about to be the round. There's one kill for KRB. The assassination comes in. Now Simple's left all alone. He's got to try and make a play. And it looks like he's doing it. 2 kills. Can he get the third? Device holding the angle. Simple knows that he tries to jump over, but it's not possible. Just too much to do for him. But he has given the rest of his teammates some hope to make this work in a 2-on-3. No kits, but Guardian with the op has found one.
He needs his support. He needs Flamey to get there, and Flamey's taking so long to come around and do anything to assist this. Both the players are still on the side. One up, but he's seen him. He's seen the gun. He's seen just enough, but he can't find a pixel. He needed Flamey to help him out. Guardian, though, still going to do what he can, but it's not enough, especially when it's Xyp9x left standing. This man will not be moved.
Yeah, just such a smart angle from Xyp9x to punish Guardian. And this, you can see, Simple, he's just making this kind of a crazy play because he knows he's about to get wrapped from heaven, and the desperation jump out of him doesn't pay off. Na'Vi getting blanked so far on Nuke, 8-0.
For Astralis, this is a quarterfinal of what dreams are made of. You got the 8-0, now you're up in the first map too, you've come into this one, and the key factors, those kind of win conditions that you preset for Na'Vi just are not there yet. They've never got going, and when they have, they've been completely and utterly destroyed. So Astralis right now leading everything. Guardian looking for something outside. Deagle's upgraded. pistols, you got a UMP, bit of armor. They're still trying to fight something. You have to if you're Na'Vi. You're 8-0 down.
Yeah, but it's tough. I mean, aggression hasn't really worked. These solo players, this is why I'm saying, even if you put Seized out there and you kind of try and cleverly hide them in the warehouse, it's just, you need more bodies there because Astralis is just abusing the fact that with 2 players, they can take control. And that's a nice shot from Device, knowing the angle, brilliant flick down, Glaive with 1 more, and you can just see it's like a waterfall. As soon as 1 kill, or like a dam breaking, as soon as 1 kill comes out for Astralis, another one immediately follows after that, just abusing all these players with knowledge of where the rotations are going to come in, where's going to be the next spot of weakness for this Na'Vi defense.
They might just find more. Glaive there, looking towards the vents. And did he spot more? I'm not too sure. I think he's just worried about there's someone coming around the other side as well. So if he just falls back, he's just buying time. He's drawing them around the map. It's just a bit of chase there between the 2 of them, and Edward's being hunted down from the other side as well. This is horrible to watch. This is just brutality at this point.
Yeah, he lured him in to make sure there's no chance of them saving or even really getting a kill. So again, just such smart play from Glaive. Even though he has an advantage in terms of weaponry, why even take that fight? Just continue to fall back, put Na'Vi in awkward situations. It's also got to be frustrating as a player if you're Na'Vi down 0-9 and Glaive just continually running away and you just can't find it. So again, another buy out of Na'Vi, but what do they change up? And I mean, the big thing as well is with some of these UMPs, with some of these upgraded pistols they're doing on these rounds, even though they have the full losing bonus, you know, when you buy that, you're missing the Molotovs. You have 4 kits in this round, you have a good amount of smokes, but you're missing some nades that could help you out. That'll be a benefit. Dupree this time messes up the smoke a little bit. Not a huge deal, though.
No sneaking down to vents this time for him. Last time he just kind of, snuck on down there, had a good time.
Had sick positioning, and he wasn't even the one to make the action happen.
How ridiculous is that? If you've got so many things that are going right for you, it's like, well, I'm in this crazy spot, but the rest of my team's doing just fine. It's Astralis with everything going their way at the moment, it feels like. But this is a bit more of a stability here. If you look into Astralis as well on their T side, if you look at the opportunities and how many rounds they win after getting that first pick, specifically on their T side, it is an incredibly high margin.
Look at how much slower this outside take is from Astralis. Not even committing to it whatsoever as they have been pretty much every other round. So it looks like, I mean, with the angle the Device is holding there, it looks like Astralis is expecting some kind of a switch up from Na'Vi to put more bodies outside, but it's not coming.
And there's the response. Get down towards ramp. Here comes the flood. Flamey, though, going to try and keep himself alight here and back away towards that lower site. He's got support. He's got Guardian coming around. C's now careful of maybe a flank, but the bomb is put down towards ramp. So still, there's a lot of play here for Na'Vi. They could finally stop the rot.
You'd hope so. Device, though, is up next. Working his way with the AWP. Tough angles for him here, but there's Zipnix with 1. Who else but to bail Astralis out of a tough spot except for Zipnix? KRB gets another Seized, though. He stops the bleeding. It's a 2-on-3, though, a chance here. And the big thing is Astralis is, once again, I've said it so many times, outmaneuvered Na'Vi. They're going to get a plant. They're going to have good positioning to stop this as well, although Guardian sneaks in with the ult. Device, he knows one's coming. He sees the gun barrel. He picks him off. Is he going to expect the second? He's got to know Seized is coming. Smoke is going to be down. That might not help him so much.
The theory was good, but Guardian is better. The defuse going to come out, and finally Na'Vi stemmed the bleed. It felt like a lifetime in the making, but it worked out. Staying alive at the start, good control towards ramp, good play from Guardian coming through, and it finally hinders the approach.
But you have what, a 5-on-3, and you end up losing 3 players in the end. So, I mean, they just go, it falls right back onto the money situation for Na'Vi, where, yeah, they're going to buy up, and yeah, they'll have the op on Guardian, they'll have what they need in this round. But following it up, I mean, that's where it gets dangerous. They have to string these rounds together. There's no other option. If they don't, they just flat out lose. They'll be back onto a save. They'll lose too many rounds.
And how are Astralis going to approach it now? They've been reminded, all right, we do bleed real blood, so we're not flawless on this one. Dupree, though, just going to go straight out. This is a quick hit towards upper, and Edward has no chance. Completely blind, but simple. Eyes wide open, can only find one, and it's Glaive and Dupree to dominate the upper side. Device reading them like a book. Seized backed away. This is beautiful CS from Astralis, and so far it's looking almost flawless.
Yeah, that's disgusting. You almost have to feel for Na'Vi on that change of pace from Astralis. Edward was just ate a flashbang and can do nothing, and you can see they're taking so much damage. They're not even getting close to retaking these bomb sites, and even KRB, he's there to cut off the fallback. Seized and Guardian can have nothing into the next round. 10-1, Astralis putting on a clinic.
Na'Vi, what do you do? How do you find any way back in? How do you keep your heads held high when you're having to watch this being done to you? It's one of those that it feels like no matter what you do, no matter how you play, Astralis are just going to find their way through. That hit towards upper just was so well done, so perfectly played out. You saw instantly everyone being out of spot, nothing to be done there. Oh, hello, that's a little something. That's maybe a start that they need. Guardian finding a little bit of flair, but flair doesn't necessarily win you rounds at this point. And you can see the pinch now from Na'Vi across the map, trying to get guns away, trying to do some, well, I say damage, just anything here, and Zivnix is having none of it.
Yeah, no, he's just playing stellar. Not making very many mistakes whatsoever with his positioning, with his movement, so he's just a god at the moment. And Na'Vi, I mean, it just... On top of all that, you add in the tactical outplays. This is Astralis at their finest. 11-1 now.
This is the Astralis side we've been waiting to see come alive here in these tournaments. So many times they've had absolute heartbreak at events like this. So close yet so far. They've had so many opportunities to go on those deep runs. Everyone looked at them. Oh, they look good in groups a couple of times. They got to the main stage and it fell apart.
Yeah, but I mean, you look at who's been knocked out of this event, and you look at the side of the bracket that Astralis is on. Winning this, they'll be playing up against Heroic. I mean, they've just got to feel supremely confident, despite that being a regional matchup. You know they're looking at it and they're just saying, this is our tournament to lose. And that confidence has got him out to a big lead here. Na'Vi, again, I mean, one more time, if they want any kind of... Oh, this is interesting.
Oh,
that is
God.
just... That timing Guardian is going to be so frustrated. How does that happen? Everything going right, and now Kirby is going to have a big flank.
Yeah, Zip's just walking out, you know he can. Look at this. He's just so confident at doing this sort of play. You're down to a 3v3, but you still feel that Astralis with players like this, in spots like this, have so much control here.
He's just never... Kirby's never been stopped when he's done this. And this is probably the second or third time he's going to find success with it. And Simple, he does spot it out at the end, but he loses the initial duel, and that puts him in a really difficult spot where he almost has to get aggressive.
And now backing away might not be an option. He's surrounded on all fronts. His friend Flamey isn't that close by either. And here you go, the noose is just being placed around Na'Vi's neck as we speak. And with Flamey going down, Astralis look near on flawless in this matchup.
Yeah, and frustration from Flamey there as well, just because, I mean, you can kind of see it in his movement. He's trying to find a way to help Simple. He's trying to find a way to find that player in heaven to alleviate the pressure from that side, from Simple's flank, and he just can't do it. If you go up the ladder, you're at a massive disadvantage. If you go all the way back, you're just too far away to get back into the round. So no real winning scenario that round for from Flamey, excuse me.
And the thing is, everyone on Astralis is playing well. No one's having a down game. No one's having a quiet performance. Everyone's doing exactly what they require. Na'Vi throwing themselves at Astralis here. There's only so many options you have, and Guardian's still fighting the good fight for them, but it's not enough. It's as simple as that. Flamey, can you dig any deeper? Can you get any small margin of help towards this half? There it is. That's a shot and a half, though. But with two more players coming through by Squeaky, it's a solid no. And Na'Vi, you just want any buffer going into that second half. You need everything you can, and look at this buy.
Yeah, this is ugly as it's coming down to it, but they just have to. One round, this is, I mean, yeah. This is when you almost wish there was some kind of a mercy rule.
A safe word, perhaps.
Release me.
Release me and let me go. We might be hearing from Na'Vi pretty soon at 13-1. This is a bit of a, let's say, a shout out to all the other teams. Astralis are here and they mean business. They look so damn serious on this stage right now. They won the map. The Na'Vi, if they'd picked up, we could have seen a competitive match throughout this. Maybe the third map could have come in, but so far this is not the case. It's a 13-1. Astralis have the first map in the pocket. Well, Na'Vi looking for anything here, looking to get that last round on the board would be lovely, maybe give themselves a tiny chance, but Astralis just don't care. Look at it, Kirby through smoke, finds the shot, just flashed up as well. Why not add more things to this? Flamey's doing everything he can, and he is fighting so hard, but sometimes your best just isn't good enough.
Yeah, one other thing Astralis has done great in this half is really exploiting that door, the squeaky door, blowing it open. Sometimes they've had Device there with the AWP. Sometimes it's been Dupree lurking out and getting into vents. We've seen that a couple times, but I mean, they found a couple picks from that avenue. And even, you could see this previous round, it was Device and Guardian having a small duel outside, flushed right back into the squeaky door pressure where Guardian's picked off. So Astralis eventually grouping up in the mid-round, as we've seen so many times, heading towards ramp room, getting the kill. Now they have control of lower, and again, you just have to say the only way back into this round for Na'Vi is a big play from Simple. He gets one kill, and actually Device misses a shot. Now it's the promise of Edward. He's got the advantage in the spam battle, but he doesn't find the kill. And there it is, Glaive shutting him down. And Simple in such an awkward spot. Now just with the USP, and he can do nothing. Device and Glaive both brought low, but a 14-1 scoreline on the T side of Nuke effectively just ends this.
Astralis are the executioners. And Na'Vi's head is on the block right now. One round to work with. I don't know what to say about this one.
What can you say about this one? We'll have to see what Na'Vi's going to have after the break.
balls. They have so little to work with. They can dig as deep as they want, but this is truly a mountain to climb.
This would be a collapse of epic proportions if it happened. It would have to be worse than anything we've seen from this lineup in the past. And I mean, recently the talk has been all about the increased mentality of Astralis, how they're some of the best. You just don't see it happening, especially with how dominant they just were in that first half. And then you add in the fact they've been strong on pistol rounds in this event as well, and this could be very, very quick going into this second half. So pistol rounds out again, mostly armor seized his raid boss, and he's going to lead the way through door. Opening it up, there's dupreeh. He's not ready for it. Good headshot from Seized, but there's still 2 more to contend with. Kirby in the site. He's getting wrapped around. He gets both kills though before he's finally traded off into a 3-on-3.
That was brought back to being incredibly possible, especially with Edward now becoming the next raid boss, the next superhero, and keeping eyes on the flank. It's Xyp9x round the back, but the bomb's with Edward. And he's waiting, peek-a-boo. There you go, heads go rolling, Glaive goes down, and Xyp9x cannot do enough. Edward picks up the mantle where his teammate left off, and he will show them what he can do with the Tech 9, but this is small steps on a mountain again. This is a long road, and it has to be perfect.
Na'Vi chance coming out, perhaps a bit early, but yeah, along this is such a big mountain, and actually, I mean, this would be so Counter-Strike if this buy actually works out for Astralis. 5-7s is CZ and Kirby, Device with the Deagle. We saw the danger that Na'Vi put on in the second round of the first half, and that was one of the few times we saw that danger come out. So there's Guardian with 1 kill, but Glaive is in a tricky spot.
Yeah, he's done this before. It's dismantled so many teams. This aggression is lovely. They've got to check for it. It's something to be noted. He's done this a lot. It's not the first time. Kirby's kind of watching it as well, so if Edward swings out too wide, he gets in trouble. We'll see how this one pans out. It's only Edward really testing the waters outside. There's still a lot of the rest of the map going on here, and Edward, please, please, check it. No, Glaive strikes. And that's a rifle recovered. That's the hand. That spurs on the rest of Na'Vi, but will they survive?
Oh, this is dangerous up close. There's one shot, Flamey jumping around. He can get the second one. No, he does a lot of damage. Device was there for a distraction. It works for 1 kill. Into a 3-on-3, and Glaive's got an AK, so this is dangerous. 1 smoke for the Na'Vi side for this lower bomb site, and Glaive's in position. Here it is. Here's the rifle. There's a kill for him as well. Simple falls, and there's no one from Na'Vi down there to trade it out. Nothing. Smoke not being used either. Or it is on the bomb site, but that's not helping anything.
Look at the HP. Seized is 25, Guardian's 35. And they've got players lurking around this side. Just about everywhere. Seized is trying to find an avenue to find a way back into this round, but time is ticking. Time is of the essence. And with this round in the bag for Astralis, if they get it, they are so damn close. Seized, though, does not want to let this slip. He wants to find a way, but those ways are coming slimmer and slimmer. Kirby finds Guardian. This could be 15 for Astralis. Seized with everything on his shoulders here. 5 seconds time does not help him here, and it is all done and dusted. Astralis are going to get to that 15th round. Na'Vi have just got to sit back and watch as that trickles through to the scoreboard.
Yeah, and I mean, that's the issue you have with Na'Vi. We just saw a big fundamental problem is in a 3-on-3, going to the lower bomb site. Simple's the only one trying to get towards the site. Not saying that's the right or wrong decision, but the wrong decision is certainly the fact that he's the only one doing it. His teammates are still back on ramp. He gets picked off, no chance at a trade, no chance at progress. And then Guardian and Seas split up at the end in that 2-on-3. One trying to go up ladder with the bomb, the other going towards vent. So you just have no teamwork coming out for Na'Vi at this point.
Na'Vi hunting for anything they can. Guardian, you can see him simple, trying to play forward Edward, but with kill by kill and step by step, Astralis know they are on the verge of writing a new stage of history. Device and dupreeh are doing it. It's down to Flamey and Simple to try and save Na'Vi, but as it stands, it looks like Astralis are on the verge of going to those semi-finals, and with every piece of HP that falls, Astralis get 1 step closer.
It's got to be just every battle won, and it's not happening. dupreeh with another kill out here, and yeah, Simple's the only one left. A 1-on-3 scenario, but this is it. Astralis is going to, more than likely, there's 1 kill from behind. Xyp9x down, but they now know his positioning. He's got 50 seconds and the bomb. No HP, no nades to utilize.
But it is simple. In this situation...
But it is simple.
Yeah, this situation certainly isn't. But it is simple. 22 HP, a rifle, armor, dupreeh and Kirby to find. And it's all on his shoulders. He has the weight of Na'Vi's tournament life resting on these next couple of seconds. Kievi would be the first challenge towards upper. Dupree down below. And Simple takes a swing. The bullets fly, and there it is. Astralis make their way to the semi-finals. And with this win, have the pen in hand to write the next chapter of their history.
Clinical, and you can just see that this is why Astralis, this map of Nuke, not even necessarily considered their best, but still a dangerous map. Big outplay from them here. For Na'Vi, I mean, it was a good fight on Mirage, and you just kind of felt coming into the series of the 3 maps that were selected, they had to win Mirage to have a chance in this series to even get to that 3rd map. So Astralis showing everything off the back of Zipnik's performance in map 1, but a team performance on Nuke that just shatters Na'Vi.
And you think ahead for Astralis, opponents now know that Nuke is a no-go. You cannot let that one slip unless you want to be put through that sort of masterclass. Heroic, their eyes are going to be on this one. Heavily watching this game. Na'Vi, your name's not going to be back on the trophy this time. Certainly more in the future, but for the first time ever, we could see Astralis possibly lifting that one if they continue this sort of form. You don't often get to see this sort of play coming out from these boys at this sort of level, but it looks like maybe that consistency element, maybe that factor finally has an answer to it.
Yeah, I mean, this is now, I mean, they've got everything going for them at the moment. Clutch plays, they've got tactics, they've got the star players as well. So, yeah, we know this is a very dangerous team. And, you know, you look at the other side of the bracket, you know who would love to play them in the finals is their old buddy Kerrigan.
Now that is a tantalizing prospect, isn't it? What an idea that would be. And to be fair to FaZe, their performance has been something that no one predicted. Through practice, through training, through coming here, they only had 3 days with Nico to adjust. They have been grinding since they got to those semifinals. They've got today to practice as well. And they'll be waiting to see who greets them there. So again, this is such an incredible tournament to watch. Who is just coming to the forefront? At the moment, we know, for one, Astralis is certainly looking like they're going to the stars, but let's over to the stage to hear what OJ has to say.
Pansy, I'm here with Dupree. The first map was tough. The second map, I mean, you were on a steamrolling mission there.
Yeah, we knew that Na'Vi haven't played Nuke that much, so we knew that we could actually end up picking either Nuke or Cash, which would go in our favor, so that was really comfortable for us.
That was the same result as the major. You guys are on form at the moment.
Yeah, well, we played really poorly in the group stage, actually, so it's really, actually, we're kind of happy that we didn't go through to the semifinal as seed 1, because then we get another day to play here. We get used to playing in the stage area and in this incredible arena as well. So we get time to build up our game, and it's going so far really good for us.
Well, last time you played in a tournament, you didn't do too well in the group stages. We know what happened then. Yeah,
I mean, that's how it is, you know, like you can't win everything, and like that's what we also know as we've been working with our sports psychologists about, that we want to be a top 4 contender every time, but you cannot win every time. There's too much competition going here. So right now it's looking pretty good for us, and we're going to face off Heroic against us tomorrow in the semifinals, so yeah.
Looking at 2 of the big teams who fell in the group stages with VP and also SK, do you feel your performance outshines them now? Because making it this far seems to have been a tough trip for everyone.
It's a little bit of both of yes and no. I mean, best of ones can get random. They had a really tough group, but like everyone was like, it actually ended up being, if Heroic won their game, they were going to go through its first seed. If not, they would go in 6th seed and go out of group. So that's how close the group was. I still believe that SK and Virtus.pro is the 2nd and the 3rd best team in the world, so I don't think that's going to change anything as of right now, and not with the result either. Obviously, it's great for us that we make it through here, and if we can win this one, I think we can determine that we're still the best team in the world, so that will be good for us.
As I was hyping this matchup, I said, you know, 2 teams that still have something to prove, mainly because in CS, you always have something to prove. Is that true? Do you still feel like you've got something to prove?
We always want to prove something. We always want to prove that we're the best team in the world. We want to prove that we play better than all the other teams. That's why we're here, and that's why we love playing Counter-Strike. If we would just go home and just relax, not work on anything, the best feeling is to get home from events, and even though you won, you still know there's stuff to work on, so that's the main thing for us.
The mark of an amazing team right there. So Heroic in the semi-finals. Talk me through how you see that matchup going.
Well, it's our friends from Denmark. Obviously, they're ranked as the 3rd best team in the world, and I guess they surprised everyone here so far. It's like a talent school. They have so many young players that's really talented and really hungry to play in international stage. And I think it's Yugi's first real international tournament, actually going here and playing in front of this crowd in an arena like this. So it's going to be very interesting for them as well. I think we're going to have a really good match, but I'm definitely confident we're going to win.
With them being your Danish countrymen, knowing how well you've done recently, do you think they want to take you out for more reasons than just progressing through to the final?
Yeah, of course. I mean, like there's always that classic banter back in Denmark. We just saw North going out this time. We love each other, but obviously we still want to see each other lose. We never want really each other to have like the most success. So obviously, it's gonna be fun playing Heroic tomorrow. Obviously, and Danish teams against each other is always like a real matchup because we know how each other play, and Glaive comes from how like he learned a lot from how Snobby played. So I think it's going to be a really interesting match to see it's all going to be a little bit of mind games there.
Thank you very much, Dupree. A fabulous win for you in Astralis. There we go. We have our second semi-final set.
And welcome back to the stadium floor here at the Spodek Arena in Katowice. We've just seen our second of our quarterfinal matches done, and it will be Astralis advancing to the semis. But you already knew that if you were watching so far. I'm here with Zonic after that successful performance. Obviously, if you don't know, the coach of Astralis, and even with a solid performance for them in the last major as well, I might add. Oh, sorry, in Cologne, should I say. Not a bad cameo. Now, talk me through this. Obviously, only 2 maps. The last map was an absolute blowout. You dominated it. What happened there?
Yeah, obviously we know they don't play Cash and they don't like to play Nuke. So if they ban Nuke, we were gonna pick Cash and the other way around. So we knew that it was gonna be our map. And yeah, Mirage, we kind of studied them hard, me and Glaive. So I'm just happy that we went out 2-0.
We'll get onto the topic of you and Glaive in just a second because I think it's quite interesting. But you're the world champions, right? You are the world champions, obviously winning at E-League. It's one thing to get to the top, but how much harder is it to stay at the top? Does it change the way you look at the game and look at competing as Astralis?
I think it's tough for us internally because struggling with motivation when you win a large tournament like the major, that has been tough for us. We have our sports psychologists helping us through that and building like a solid base for future events. The boys are still hungry, and especially after DreamHack Masters where we didn't go to the final. It made us hungry, and I think it was, obviously I don't like to lose, but I think it was good for the team that we also saw some direct defeat after the major. So proud of the boys, and yeah, our sports psychologists are working her ass off with us getting motivated for future events.
Yeah, and you mentioned just your sports psychologist, which is something that not all teams have really looked into. That's not the only thing you're doing a little bit differently, though, as Astralis. Now, for those of you who haven't seen the film clip now, obviously the office complex is being put together, your office, where you are going to go to work, essentially, and play your matches from there. It's a very different way of looking at playing competitively as opposed to, I don't know, living in the same house and playing together. So tell us the thinking behind that and how it's working out for you so far.
Yeah, obviously, it's a huge thanks to the organization behind Astralis, Refresh. They have helped us a lot and giving us great facilities. We meet in once a week. Obviously, when we have a tight schedule like this, we tend to stay home because it's important for me that the team has some private life as well. But yeah, we plan like 3 or 4 months ahead, and then we schedule that we meet at least 2 or 3 times a week. On the office doing like PR stuff and making new strats, and you just get more out of it when you're sitting together under the same roof.
Very interesting take on professional gaming, and we'll have to see if more teams sort of follow suit in the future. But let's talk about Glaive again. We brought him up earlier on. Now, before Glaive joined the team, your record at LAN events was 53% wins. After he joined and before this event, it was now 72% with Glaive in the team. Now, you had the experience of obviously of coaching the team with a different IGL, and then Glaive came in, who wasn't even an IGL in Heroic. So talk us through this, because obviously he wasn't, you didn't pick him up as an IGL in his previous team. How are you guys working together?
Obviously, we saw some of the ideas that he brought with us in Cologne when we played the major back then. I kind of liked Lucas back then when some of the ideas, I pretty much had the same idea of how to play. So when we decided to switch Kerrigan, it was obvious for me to get Glaive. And I talked with him about becoming an in-game leader for Astralis, and we talked some of the ideas through, and then we made the switch.
And it seems to have worked out pretty well so far. Even the stats would agree with that, Danny. Thank you so much for joining me and taking the time. They're red, they're white, they're Danish Dynamite, and Astralis are moving on to tomorrow's matches, the semi-finals. But before we get too ahead of ourselves, let's now put that match under the microscope.
Great to hear there from Mitch and a little bit of word from Zonic regarding everything that's been going on behind the scenes to make Astralis great again. Either way, though, same day, different event. We do get to see 2 instances where those quarterfinal dreams are shattered by Astralis. Na'Vi falling both in Atlanta and here in Katowice. Different places, same result. Astralis walking through into those semis. What do you make of it? Chad Birchall and Janko Paunovic are joining me to wrap up this day and to understand how our semi-finals are looking. And a stomping to put things into perspective here. We talked about Nuke, we talked about Na'Vi starting on the CT side. Janko, turns out irrelevant.
Hey, it seems rather unfortunate that Na'Vi is unable to do anything in these best of threes, right? Ever since New York, they haven't had a best of 3 to show something for. Even against Astralis at the major, they won 16-14 on their own map, very, they had to scrape that win. And the 2 maps that they lost them pretty handily. Similar thing happened in Vegas, close first map, blowout on the second. Kind of similar thing here, that even the fact that the first map wasn't that close. So they obviously have issues coming back after having a, dissatisfying first map and then having problems to rally the troops, so to speak.
A prime example of when you talk about having to start strong. Na'Vi perhaps going to be up there at the top of your list. Chad, what do you make of 14 Nuke T rounds for Astralis?
Absolutely nuts. You don't see that every day of the week, do you? For me, it's just like, it's so hard to dissect and take this apart from Na'Vi's perspective, because they were trying everything, right? They weren't just sitting back and being dictated to. They were actually trying to be aggressive in rounds, and they were force buying to try and make it as competitive as possible when they thought it was necessary. But Astralis were just able to play their own game and do whatever they wanted and however they wanted. Na'Vi couldn't put up any form of a fight. You need people to be able to step up and have individual plays and get 3Ks and stuff to really negate and put a stop to an aggressive T side. And Astralis had everything at their disposal and no one there to stop them.
Not a single thing Na'Vi did work out. I mean, a 16-2 scoreline in the quarterfinal with 2 world-class teams, and you do have to, you end up scratching your head just a little bit. But what does this tell us about Astralis, Janko? You heard it there over in the tweet just brought up from Glaive saying there is now only 1 goal. And that's, of course, lifting the trophy.
It tells you that they're the team to beat at this tournament. I think that was alongside VP probably the thought that you had before the tournament even started. Now it's even more clear with the likes of Fnatic, VP, and SK. Now Na'Vi as well being out of the tournament. They have Heroic in the semifinals and then the winner of the FaZe Immortals matchup. And, every time you see a matchup like that for Astralis, you would say they're a huge favorite. But now it's up to them not to get complacent. They are the favorites, but there is definitely some upset potential with some of the other teams that are still left.
I mean, we've seen some of the upset potential caused by the teams that now stand in the semi-finals. Immortals, Heroic, both will be playing tomorrow and making that Spodek Raw. We can bring it up to remind you of how it did look, but it was a rather turbulent affair for some of the biggest names in Counter-Strike. Na'Vi are added to the pile, but there it stands. FaZe are waiting, and they'll be playing against Immortals tomorrow. And we do have the luxury of Heroic versus Astralis. We do get to see a double Danish semi-final. It will be, no doubt, a battle for not only pride here in Katowice, but some national pride wrapped into that one as well. Dupree says there's extra special, bit of extra fun, and I think we can attest that Heroic could continue to rock the boat.
And it's also fun what Zonic mentioned, that Glaive used to play for Heroic before, you know, so he knows that playstyle. He wasn't the in-game leader in Heroic. That's what a lot of people think. He wasn't the in-game leader. It was Snappy. He was probably giving some input, but you know, they even have that going for them. So domestic matchups can always get a bit sketchy, but in this situation, I think it's obvious that Astralis is a big, big favorite.
Big favorite, but I mean, out of the underdogs, Chad, out of the Brazilians, Immortals, out of Heroic, who do you see causing a little bit more, pushing that upset to a grand final?
I think Immortals would be the one who would push it towards the grand final over Heroic. I don't see how Heroic can compete with the individual skill on Astralis, right? All the Astralis players in that best of 3 versus Na'Vi all had positive ratings over 2 maps. You know, that just shows how dominant it was and how well they're playing. Whereas I think if we juxtapose that, during the group stage, I don't think any of the Heroic players had a positive rating over the whole, you know, they did it as a team. So I think Immortals have an upset potential against FaZe because we're still learning about FaZe and we're still finding out, you know, how Nico fits in, how they're actually going to work as a unit, and they are as well. And that's the exciting thing about Immortals with this FNX edition. Both of these teams, once again, this same storyline, they have that new player and it's still evolving right in front of our eyes.
Definitely one of the more established rosters, Astralis, boasting just a 5-kill spread between top and bottom fragger in that victory versus Na'Vi across both maps. That is proof that teamwork can indeed make the dream work. And some of those plays were rather dreamlike today. We're going to be taking a look at our plays of the day. I believe it's plural this time just because there was so much to rifle through. And in fact, a sniper rifle was one of the first we got to see. This was FNX's play, creeping and crawling through the A site.
I mean, this was just a huge blunder by North.
Yeah.
Not to check that long A spot, the stables area for even a little bit. So he took great advantage of that. And now we have the great round from Guardian. He had a great game on Mirage. Unfortunately, his team didn't keep up with that pace, and it wasn't enough against the team performance that we've seen from Astralis.
Yeah, they didn't give him the platform to do that AWP work over on Nuke. With that said, though, quarterfinals done, and this tournament, Chad, just closing thoughts from you, but this tournament is, I don't think anybody could have predicted exactly this outcome as we head in towards the weekend.
We feel like we've fallen back into the unpredictability with the tournaments. It's kind of stabilized towards the end of last year and early in this year, and we thought we knew who the favorites were. But now that everything's up and down again, it is very exciting. And the group stage yesterday, and even today's matches have been some of the most exciting Counter-Strike in terms of how big of upsets or disparities in scorelines that we've seen in a long time.
Yeah, we've got some fantastic things to be serving up to you guys tomorrow. We're going to have a sweet Danish pastry as two do battle in one semi-final, and you get to see FaZe. It's been a while. You may have forgotten about their performance in the group stage. They looked great with only a couple of days of Nico in their roster. Do you think they're going to be the all eyes on FaZe coming into tomorrow, Janko?
I think FaZe doesn't have any pressure on them. Even though they're playing Astralis with Astralis Immortals, you know, they could have faced a tougher opponent. They're probably feeling relieved a little bit, but you know, they're just going to play their own game and try to make it to the finals, and in the finals, anything can happen. 5 days down, Danes down, Alex, 10 more to go, you know.
Yes,
we need to get rid of that virus.
It's crazy that it's spreading the plague
the drug
of successful
that is Danish CS.
Danish Counter-Strike. Indeed, it is spreading across Counter-Strike, and we are going to go ahead and disappear. Thank you so much for joining us again here for Intel Extreme Masters. The days keep on rolling, so do the surprises. We'll see if we get any more tomorrow in those semi-finals. IEM Katowice 2017 will have a grand final locked in tomorrow. Thank you for joining us in the Spodek and at home, and we'll see you same time tomorrow for all that Counter-Strike.
Something in the air tonight. I'm gonna have to reach for new heights. And if I have to stand alone, I'm not afraid to face the throne. The enemy is all around. The walls crumble as I watch them fall down. It's just my final fantasy. Every single time I hear you say, if I rise, I will not crash. I will not fall from first to last. Till nothing's left inside, I will not lead you down a broken path. With every breath and every stride, I still need you here by my side to take me by the hand when once again I'm blinded by the light. We won't back down from a fight. No, we won't back down from a
Do you want to feel like a pro gamer? Wait no more. Greatness awaits you with Intel Extreme Masters certified PCs and notebooks. When you see unique IEM certified stickers on the outside, you will find high-grade components with Intel Core i5 and Core i7 processors inside. Every purchase includes in-game content and supports the total prize purse of Intel Extreme Masters World Championship. Feel like a pro.
This is the Score Esports, the ultimate esports experience. The Score Esports brings you 24/7 news and scores, delivering the biggest stories and all the in-game updates and stats you care about in real time. The Score Esports takes you inside the ropes with the biggest players in every major event with exclusive video interviews, features, highlights, and analysis. Get all the non-stop action wherever you are, on your desktop or on the go, we've got you covered. The Score Esports is your home for everything CSGO. Check it out now.
I can't understand people watching somebody play a computer game.
It's still not a sport.
It shouldn't be on a sports network.
But I don't know if athlete is the right word.
ESL One is coming back to New York City in 2017. September 16th to the 17th. Get your tickets now at ESL1.com.